fade from Paramount logo to actual mountain is f***ing sweet, and the logo is only like 8 seconds long. Someone saw the Brady Bunch Hawaiian 2-part special. When this guy runs away, do all the other people who were with them run away too? There are at least 5 people besides Indy in this group, but after this, it's just these 2 dudes, including Magnolia's Alfred Molina.
Poison is still fresh, 3 days. They're following us.
Why would the poison dart you just found indicate that they're following you? If anything, you're following them.
If they knew we were here, they would have killed us already.
I see. Coincidental poison dart, then? This is somewhere between southern Chile and northern Colombia. Hang a ride at the gas station, you can't miss it. Completely illegible map is completely illegible. Guy takes no caution in cocking his gun in the presence of Indy. Like, maybe cock the gun somewhere else so that it doesn't give you away. Where the f*** did these spiders come from? This was the shot we saw just before Spider-Man 2's Alfred Molina made him aware. Are they jumping down from the ceiling? And I guess more spiders jumped on species Alfred Molina because they know he's up to no good. You gotta watch spiders, man. They're nature's bad guy detectors. Know that I have nothing but love for this movie. It's an all-timer. But how does an ancient people rig up a motion sensor booby trap like this? And did the booby trap reset itself after Indy's rival got killed? How does the whip tie itself around this log when sturdy enough to support a man's weight? When we see it from the other side, it's somehow gotten around the log 3 times. That's from one flick of the wrist. One of the things that makes this movie awesome is how little dialogue or explanation this opening scene gives you. It's largely just watching the action of them solving a riddle. If it were made today, the entire first segment would be full of stupid one-liners back and forth, most of it being about cultural misunderstandings. That dart could so easily have just hit him if he hadn't been holding the thing in the perfect spot. He had no idea what might happen, or that it would be a dart, or that the dart would hit the wooden dongle instead of his eyeball. Honestly, if avoiding these brown vagina tiles is all it takes to not trigger the booby trap, then this all seemed pretty easy. He releases sand from the counterweight by eyeballing the weight of the idol, which is just beyond ballsy. Now I wonder how long it took to build this glorified storage unit and how they tested it out. This tribe built a whole temple where you avoid a solar booby trap, play pitfall, avoid poisonous darts, and then finally, if you get to the idol, you set off an alarm that causes the whole thing to self-destruct and unleashes a boulder as a last gasp to trap you inside forever. All for this ugly thing. These idol worshippers thought of everything when it came to booby traps, but they did not factor in the speed of a man as he runs across the poison dart lobby. Ford says Sapito here when the name of the character is Satipo, and even the subtitles confirm it should have been Satipo. During this entire time we see the boulder. It's moving at speeds that should trample Indy, but due to the magic of editing, Indy is always several steps ahead. So here's the wall of webs that Indy and
Right.
I'm being told this is Limo Emo from Liberty Mutual, who helps save you hundreds.
But due to the magic of editing, Indy is always several steps ahead. So here's the wall of webs that Indy and Boogie Nights Alfred Molina encountered earlier. As you can see, the exit from the cave is pretty far away in this shot. But here, it's just a couple of steps and a dive away. How good is Indy? He's about to outrace a group of this jungle's natives. That's really good. Indy tells Jock. Jock look up and notice Indy running from all the natives. But then we see Indy running towards a thick area of jungle with no water in sight. Then we see him grabbing a vine to swing into the water, surrounded by more thick jungle. How the f*** did Jock see him or even hear him? Indy runs into the woods and the trailing native guy fires an arrow 100 feet above Indy into the trees. All these blowers and no one was able to land a climax. I mean a kill shot. Oh, and the archers are terrible too.
There's a big snake in the plains, huh?
Indy is instantly tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Oh my, that's bad for your eyes. Don't draw on your eyelids, kids, or put lotion on them or anything like that. Most of what you put on the eyelid will leak into the eye. Also, writing love notes on your eyelids. Also, Christ, who drew that on there? And how did she not wig out when it was happening? Imagine someone writing with an ink pen on your closed eyelid and then explain how she did this. Even if it's mascara and she applied it herself looking into the mirror, it's a minor miracle it came out right. The director said, let's have your character give Dr. Jones an apple after class. It'll make you look like even more of an asshole.
I had it, Marcus. I had it in my hand.
Wait, He just get back from South America and only had time to go straight to class when he got back? Why hasn't he told Marcus about the idol yet? Our discussion about the Ark and Hitler is top secret, so let's find the biggest classroom we can find and leave a few open doors to talk about it.
The city of Tennis was consumed by the desert in a sandstorm which lasted a whole year.
That was very DeRue, that sandstorm.
Now, what's that supposed to be coming out of there?
Lightning, fire, power of God or something.
Gotta say, this power of God that comes out of the Ark definitely raises the stakes of this adventure. You can't really have a movie without it, but you've got to wonder why the stone tablets of the original Ten Commandments are guarded with this kind of power. These are very important documents that explain God's will, but no one can ever see them. You can copy the commandments down for your own notes, but the originals are very important for some reason, and God will kill you if you look at them. Gun, whip, leather jacket, he's all back. Let's go to the airport. Let's go right now. The propeller is spinning, and there are 2 flight attendants under the wing. This is a nice image, but what kind of light source is even making this possible? This is apparently coming from the fireplace, but the light wouldn't be this even, and there are so many other lights on, it would make shadow work like this impossible.
I never meant to hurt you.
I was a child. I was in love. It was wrong and you knew it.
This needs a lot more explaining than it gets. Did he do that on purpose? We give modern movies a lot of for how hard it is to keep up with the action, but this classic Steven Spielberg movie is guilty of it too. A lot of close-ups of random people shooting somewhere off screen and no idea where everyone is.
Whiskey?
Jesus, just how long is the bar that Indy can request a bottle of whiskey and get it in time to smash this dude over the head to avoid the fire?
They have not one brain among them. Except one. We call him Balosh.
Belloc. Amazing how Belloc went from stealing the idol from Indy straight to helping the Germans finding the Ark in like a week. How is it that out of all the archaeological finds in the world, Indy keeps running into Belloc over and over? This might be a good time to search for the Holy Grail since Belloc's busy. Oh, of course the monkey's evil? How do you train a monkey to keep tabs on strangers? Shoplifting. Here comes a what the f*** edit in the movie. Marion runs through this archway and the guy with the knife is hot on her heels. It appears that she's going into a building, right? But when the scene cuts, she's still outside and runs into another doorway where she knocks dude out with a frying pan. I don't want to play the music here, but the Jones and Marion theme is very similar to the Han and Leia theme, and they even start with the same 3 notes.
I ought to kill you right now.
Not a very private place for a murder?
Of course, you've already gotten away with at least 3 in the last 5 minutes, so what's one more?
I am a shadowy reflection of you.
You and I are not so different, cliche.
Uncle Indy, come back home now!
I've never understood these sudden children who save Indiana from this situation. We find out later that his buddy Gimli was looking for him, but it's not like he knew Indy was in trouble. And even if he did, why would he send these kids in to protect him when the whole place could erupt in gunfire at any second?
And take back Bon Kadam to honor the Hebrew god whose ark this is.
It's pretty incredible that this medallion tells people to get a staff that's 6 feet tall, but on the reverse side, it's like, fuck, you better take a foot off. You know, to honor God or something. I didn't know God had penis envy. Anyway, it's temporarily inconvenient for the villains who only have one side to work with.
Bad dates.
Dr. Jones' fate abates once the primate playmate ate a not great date.
What time does the sun hit the map room? About 9 in the morning.
Okay, but surely this all has to happen on or near a specific day, right? The sun will hit the map room at a different time every day, and as the planet turns, the beam coming into the map room will change where it lands, right? Am I insane here? If you don't know what day or week to do this, then you could all end up digging in the wrong place. They had f***ing dudes with guns guarding the workers hauling dirt, but they have no armed guards on the map room? Belloc used a longer staff, and that's why the Germans are digging in the wrong place right now. But did they also not put their staff in the right hole? This hole is covered in sand, despite Belloc being here the previous morning. So the Nazis busted Sala, but didn't arrest him, let him wander away free to make a blanket rope, and didn't stay guarding their map room so he would be able to just waltz back over there to free Indy.
There was the switch baskets.
Yeah, but how? She was being carried by those 2 dudes the whole time. If she switched baskets, she must have been throwing her voice too, since she was yelling out of that basket the whole time. And that basket clearly went into the back of that truck that exploded. Also, if she switched baskets, why was she still captured? Is this supposed to be how Belloc had a copy of the medallion? His burned hand only has a few of the markings at the top, while the real one has markings going all the way around it. How did they even get enough of the translation to even begin searching in the wrong place? Somehow, entirely off screen, Jones reconnected with Sala and recruited a bunch of the local workers to stop what they were doing and come help him dig. And none of the bad guys who are everywhere all over this camp saw this unsolicited digging or ever stopped to ask questions. Also, it's at this point I feel like Indy doesn't think things through. The bad guys can't find the Ark because they don't have the right coordinates and never will. Technically, he could save Marion, leave, and find the Ark later. This is where you have to start a disinformation campaign so that the Nazis will look the other way or give up for a while because this is just too risky. I don't know what causes this little shift in the image in the background, but whatever it is, it makes everything look fake as shit. As they clear off the stone tablet they found digging, I wonder if Indy ever stopped to think he was allowed to come here and find the Ark by the very bad guys he thinks he's racing against. Oh, look, at the never-ending snake brigade down in this room that's been sealed for 1,000 years. There must be so much food and oxygen down here. It's only natural that snakes are crawling all over each other to get their share of the plentiful resources that must be down here. I think Marion is a badass, but for the most part, she's just a damsel in distress. Also, how was the dress he gave her exactly her size? Also, he just fucking learned the Nazi guys were going to torture her, and now he's being nice to her in the hopes that she will share information before having to be tortured. So why did he have a dress lying around here at all, let alone one that fit her every line and curve perfectly? Never set living snakes on fire. That's one of my life rules. Well, I won't be needing this anymore. Wait, you're not going to open it, are you? You're smart, aren't you? Oh, they are opening it, because it's not the Ark, only the casing outside the Ark. But how did they know that? This lid has to be at least as heavy as that roof was that took several men to open with pry bars, but Sala and Indy are able to lift this heavy as thing by themselves using nothing other than their brute strength.
Americans, you're all the same, with overdressing for the wrong occasions.
Wait, that's his burn? Americans are always overdressing for the wrong occasions? Is that even marginally true? We dress up for weddings, funerals, church, graduation, business meetings. Where are we going wrong, sir? Should we be wearing suits to WrestleMania? Or shorts to revival services? I love this scene. I love it, but there's no reason why this guy has a coat hanger like this. He gives his coat to this dude who's just gonna hold it anyway. It's not like he hangs it up anywhere. I don't mean to sin fun, but I just sin fun. In the third movie, the Holy Grail turns out to be a commoner's cup, not a golden masterpiece. So why would the Ark of the Covenant be any different? Where'd they get all this fucking gold anyway? Moses specifically condemned them for making a golden calf. Did they melt that down to make the Ark? Because if so, then they probably didn't learn the lesson Moses was teaching about the golden calf. Also, were the long wooden rods that fit perfectly in the holes already here? Or did Indy bring those too? Well, we never learned about it. Feels like they were here already. Why did the people who took such great pains to hide the Ark leave so many tools behind for stealing it?
You would use a bulldozer to find the China Cup.
In the end, what was the point of those scenes with Marion and Belloc and the weird Nazi guy? It doesn't drive the plot at all. We know Belloc wanted to get Marion drunk and have her spill the beans. And we know they used future melty glasses to question Marion about the medallion. We don't even see what he did when he questioned her. But in the end, none of that matters because Belloc just stumbles on Indy's dig in the morning. Technically, you could have lost that whole sequence and it wouldn't have mattered. I know that's sacrilege to say because there are some entertaining bits, but seriously, we could have cut that whole Marion tent sequence and the movie doesn't lose anything.
Take this. Wave it at anything that slithers.
This is a dangerous thing to say to a woman you have a sexual past with. Dude has a lit torch between his chin and his shoulder while he is rope climbing, and if the movie isn't going to act like that's cool, I at least will. I mean, it's impossible too, which is why I'm sending it, but it's still cool. That wall was sturdy as wasn't it? How was it even standing? Is this statue really that strong? Jump-scaring skeleton can lick my armpit. Oh, good. They're everywhere. This is fun. And Jesus, somehow one solitary snake was camping out in this spot where there aren't millions of snakes. No one disturbs him in his kingdom of the actual skull. They were buried deep in the well of souls, but sure, when Indy finds an exit, all they have to do is climb up like 10 feet. Also, luckily, there appears to be a bunch of stones that form steps to this opening up here, which is weird, since nothing else in this area seems to be missing anything. I guess these were spare stones the Egyptians had left over when they built this place.
So you left Mr. Fuzzy on the plane?
Well, I think we all left Mr. Fuzzy on the plane. Okay, hold on, I think I found it.
Hey, it's time for a classic film flub. Today's classic film flub. The stone Indy pushes out is definitely not a heavy stone. You can see the shadow bounce to confirm it. Really fun stuff. Cannibalism. After knocking out the pilot, Marion climbs into the cockpit, and all I have to say is, why? Also, she gets trapped in there and has to be saved, when all she had to do after knocking out the pilot was jump down and run away. These heroes are closer without being seen than the hobbits were when they slid down the rocks outside the entrance to Mordor. Half these f***ing people behind them should be pointing and shouting about the white people barely hiding behind a dirt mound. He's sure to catch that car on horseback. Good God, man, there's no excuse for missing. You not only have a clear shot, you also have a machine gun. I'm no Egypt expert, but it seems weird that this action scene started in a jungle, momentarily crossed into a mountainous region for a convenient car crash, and now it's back in the jungle again. Then Indy tries to kick this guy off the truck and he nearly falls off a cliff. But when his buddy turns to find him, it looks like completely different terrain. Let's give a round of applause to goddamn stunt people. The stunt is in itself Spielberg's tribute to stunt people. Jesus, this rules. That said, both his front and back should be riddled with cuts, bumps, bruises, and other signs of having been dragged across a desert road. Everyone is happy and singing and dancing. The hero has his arm around the girl, and there is no way this is done. How can the characters in the movie be so dumb? Did Marion not get another change of clothing after all that bullshit? He's still in Belloc's dress, and it's ripped and muddy, and I think I'm in love, but damn, you'd think she would have found some new clothes by now. Falling asleep during a Karen Allen seduction. Is the Ark burning this Nazi crate? If so, why did it take so long? And why doesn't it finish the job? And why is it burning when the Ark itself hasn't even been opened yet? Is this really happening? Is he really climbing out of a steam pipe like a goddamn cartoon?
You are not in the position to ask for anything.
We would take what we wish.
I'm pretty sure this guy is just being a Nazi asshole. Not soul? But earlier, this guy wanted to throw Marion down into the well of souls for absolutely no reason. My guess is the script dictates his every move, which is going to get him in hot water with Hitler. Steven Spielberg's Das Boot. I love this scene where Indy punches this dude and takes his uniform, but it really makes me wonder how nobody sees this. I mean, the people patrolling this walkway would have seen not only the first guy get beat up, but also the second guy. Not to mention Indy trying on new clothes and even when doing field work, you still need pole-holding jingoists?
Your persistence surprises even me.
Holy did he just swallow that fly? For some reason, they kept Jones and Marianne alive and tied them up to watch the show. There's zero reason for them to do this unless they know we are all watching, needing resolution.
Marianne, don't look at it.
The don't look at it idea comes out of the sheer blue. I guess this comes from years of study, and it's an educated guess, but this hasn't even been hinted at until now. This arc is no longer a viable weapon if people can just shut their eyes and avoid the consequences. Word on the battlefield would get around pretty quick about this weakness. Also, I sort of wish that the Archangel that's about to come out and kill a bunch of Nazis was actually doing it because they were Nazis, and because Belloc is clearly evil. You'd think an angel would know what is bad and kill accordingly. Nightmare fuel! Are the Nazis being sent to heaven? Yeah, maybe they're just going in for processing. Peter will ask them the usual round of questions. They'll fail, obviously, but kind of a weird scene watching this Nazi mist go into the clouds here. Oh, hey, look, the flames cut the rope without killing us. Sweet. Okay. How do we get off this island? Marion, do you know how to drive a submarine? Never mind. I'll read the manual. It'll be in German, but I think I can get the gist of it.
Well, the money's fine. The situation is totally unacceptable.
Indiana Jones now knows there's proof of God. I mean, he won't be able to make anyone believe him, but it's a bit surprising it doesn't change his life in a meaningful way.
Well, I know what I've got here.
So think, this romance is going to produce a kid named Mutt. I've always loved the mystery of this warehouse. Thousands of crates that all contain something the government doesn't want you to see. The Ark is just one of many. One of the best ending shots in a movie ever. After watching Raiders of the Lost Ark and you move on to this movie, you are right to ask, what the is this
Anything goes.
Yep, this movie is basically telling us to expect some absolutely deranged and evil that will, in just a month after this movie and Gremlins come out, lead to a new PG-13 rating. That's right, this movie where a dude pulls out another dude's heart was PG. We gave zero back in the 80s.
This is Indiana Jones, famous archaeologist.
At this point, what would Indiana Jones be famous for? Since this is a prequel, he hasn't done anything with the Ark of the Covenant yet. And apparently every time he makes a huge discovery, some asshole steals it from him.
I suggest you give me what you owe me, or anything goes.
Incorporating the opening musical number into your threats.
Oh, homo boy.
Why is Indy drinking anything passed to him by guys who tried to steal Narhachi's ashes from him just last night, and who pulled a gun on him seconds ago, and who tried to pay him with coins instead of the diamond?
Poison works fast, Dr. Jones.
It does not.
You give it a go, I find another.
If Lau had this little concern for Willie, then why did Lau give Indiana what he wanted when Indy was threatening her with the roast pork earlier?
That's not a waiter.
I swear this character's single trait is that she is the equivalent of the guy at every goddamn theater screening I go to audibly explaining what's happening on screen, just in case any of us in the audience weren't understanding the obvious. Also known as the holy that's what Steve said to Sam in Captain America Civil War guy. In order for a person to fire a gun in this situation and get away with it, you have to know that multiple champagne bottles are getting uncorked and time one of them perfectly. Wuhan doesn't feel a shot to his chest until he inspects the broken glass. Also, even though blood starts seeping through the shirt, neither it nor the jacket have a bullet hole in them.
I followed you on many adventures.
I mean, so many adventures that I'm not in any other Indiana Jones movies or TV shows. I show up in a couple books and a video game, but yeah, anyway, so many adventures. For someone dying of a fast-acting poison, Indy still has the strength to throw a flaming shish kebab so hard that it penetrates a man's chest and kills him. Now we get to enjoy over 2 minutes of Willie chasing the diamond and Indy chasing the antidote while being attacked by random henchmen. And by enjoy, I mean wonder how this is only a 2-minute sequence, but feels like it goes on for all the some time. Geez, did the poison Indy's brain up so much he needed to punch the cigarette lady? He's the good guy, right? Here, let's put Indiana into this cart and push him into the van. He'll think twice before he crosses the likes of us. These throwing knives plunge into a statue instead of bouncing off of it, and they should have bounced. That diamond doesn't look a damn thing like ice. Quit acting like this has turned into a needle in the haystack scenario. Indiana Jones in the Temple of Balloons. Why does every single bullet this guy shoots go underneath? Oh, wait, I forgot George Lucas produced this. Also, Indy doesn't have any weapons. There's no reason why this guy can't run up and get a better shot. This nonsense is especially egregious when Indy runs behind the gong. Ah, I see. They were at Club Obi-Wan the whole time. That name probably means a lot to people living in 1935 Shanghai. For others, they just weren't cool enough.
We always give up to 10% fan cash on your bets, win or lose. Come on, boys!
Is this guy everything, everywhere, all at once? Short Round somehow knew to drive the car up to this exact location at this exact time.
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones. Hold on to your potatoes.
Hold on to your potatoes.
I'm not that kind of girl.
Indiana is definitely reaching down a woman's dress without her explicit consent, and there was nothing okay about that. But why didn't Willie already get him the antidote?
Hey, Dr. Jones. No time for love.
Kids.
I burnt my fingers and I cracked a nail!
Man, I sure am glad this character isn't going to be with us for the whole movie. Holy she's gonna be with us for the whole movie? Also, female character getting horribly upset in a dangerous situation because she's cracked a nail cliche.
Ah, Dr. Jones. I'm Weber.
The way this scene is shot and edited, this Dan Aykroyd cameo doesn't contain any Dan Aykroyd. Also, assuming that the third person was going to be Wuhan and not Willie, how short of a notice did Art have to acquire this plane? Like, this would be part of the plan from the very beginning, right? Or is this movie saying Indy somehow called Art on his 1930 cell phone on the way here?
Heavens, aren't you Willie Scott, the famous American female vocalist?
No one would refer to someone as the famous American female vocalist. They would say, Willie Scott, the singer. Or just simply ask, aren't you Willie Scott? F***ing Art Weber.
Nice try, Lao Che.
So did Lao Che have these plane shenanigans set up? Because the way things go down, he would have had to. But if he was planning on poisoning Indy at the club, then why go through all the trouble of setting this up? He'd also have to have Art on his payroll for this to happen, since it was apparently the best he could find on short notice. So wait, were the pilots hoping that everyone would be asleep to carry out this plan? What if they weren't? And this also requires them to be able to walk past them without waking them up.
We're not sinking! We're crashing!
Look, Kate Capshaw does everything this movie requires of her, and this is not her fault. But seriously, Willie Scott is one of the most annoying characters ever put on film. I just have to assume that all the people who thought Indy surviving a nuclear explosion by placing himself in a refrigerator was ridiculous totally forgot about the inflatable raft parachute sequence from this installment. Ah, those 1984 special effects where the real image and the green screen image look like they're fighting and about to get a divorce. Also, this explosion. Wow, these guys landed on a mountain that's basically a goddamn ski resort. I'm not sure what the bigger sin is here. That they survive at all, or that all three of them somehow stay in the raft for the entire descent. Let's just give two sins and move on while a bit of my sanity is still intact.
I hate the water! And I hate being wet! And I hate you!
Would you have rather crashed into the mountain? This guy points them in the direction they need to go, and then when it transitions to the next scene, he's in front of them again, doing some super unnecessary motioning to the village he obviously led them to. I mean, did they start going in some other direction? And he was like, no, guys, not there, here, where the party's at.
There is a new Maharaja, and again the palace has the power of the dark light.
Why does this guy think that Indiana can battle pure evil and take back a sacred stone stolen from his village? All Indy did was show up on a raft carrying a kid and an American singer. He didn't say, I'm Indiana Jones, conqueror of evil. Or is he so famous that his exploits have reached tiny rural villages in India? Steven Spielberg runs with a blatant and pretentious Jaws reference, so Michael Bay and Ambulance could fly with a blatant and pretentious The Rock reference, also known as the Circle of Ego.
Saying when the sacred stone was taken, the village wells dried up, and the river turned to sand.
If Indy knew how to speak their language, why was he speaking English to them when they were eating?
Then one night there was a fire in the fields.
Sure, it's more dramatic and cinematically pleasing for Indy to turn around and translate this horror story to the audience, but how f***ing rude is it that Indy turns his back on this guy while he tells it?
He says they stole their children.
Indiana Jones and the When a Stranger Calls.
Shankara.
Why the hell did Indy come all the way up here to look at the parchment? Does he need the best view possible to think about treasure hunting?
Little boy escaped from the evil palace. Many other children still there.
Why is Short Round relaying this information to Indy? Couldn't Indy have just waited long enough in the village to hear what the kid had to say about the other children? Seriously, why is he up here? Steven Spielberg is bringing out so many flourishes from his other films, I'm halfway expecting a killer truck to show up and harass Dennis Weaver. Watching Willie struggle with getting on top of the elephant without actually helping her get on top of the elephant. These people are dicks.
We're not going to Delhi, doll. We're going to Pankot Palace.
Waiting until now to deliver this news to Willie. But also, why does she have to go with them? There has to be another guide that could take her to Delhi. Why would Indy even want her to come? He seems to despise her. And even if he didn't, I can't imagine he would want her to risk her life along with him on this quest. Willie is this movie's square peg trying to fit Indy's round hole. Wait.
Cut it out.
There's plenty of room around the fire. Willie could just move away from the element. This movie really likes its situational humor, which is weird, because very little of it is funny.
Shorty's family were killed when the Japanese bombed Shanghai. He's been living on the street since he was 4. I caught him trying to pick my pocket. Didn't I, short stuff?
So kidnapping him and putting him in my adventures was the only natural thing to do. I'm trying to wrap my head around how this would even happen. How would Willie not realize she's touching something that is not her clothing? How would the bat let this happen? What was the bat doing on the ground? Why are we teaching Common Core math to kids? I have so many questions.
I said, cut it out!
Why does Willie think this is the elephant f***ing with her? She moved away from the elephant and has it in clear view of her. She would know the elephant isn't behind her.
My name is Indiana Jones.
Dr. Jones, the eminent archaeologist?
Man, being an archaeologist in 1935 must have been like being John Lennon in the 60s.
The British find it amusing to inspect us at their convenience.
The British.
Snake? Surprise!
If you're stuffing eels inside a giant snake and calling it a meal, you're basically tearing down all the hard work you've done to make your temple look wholesome and good. This whole eating sequence definitely freaked me out as a kid, but as an adult I can see it's just an excuse to make fun of other cultures. This scene is gross, but it has all to do with the problematic point that is being made and nothing to do with the visuals that are presented to us.
Peasants there told us Pankow Palace was growing powerful again because of some ancient evil.
If you're Indiana Jones, why would you bring this up? If you know the temple is running a crooked shop, you wouldn't want them to suspect why you're here, right? Does this asshole think he's James Bond?
I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about folklore.
Dude, you just said the villagers told you that the palace had taken something from them. You know, in the modern day. Nothing about folklore. You're f***ing this shit up, man. Someone's gonna be waiting in your bedroom to kill you now. Are you happy about that?
And wasn't it the Sultan of Madagascar who threatened to cut your head off?
Seriously, how does Rando Pancott guy know so much about Indy? It's not like he knew Dr. Jones was coming. The director said, let's give Dr. Jones an apple so the audience will know he's an asshole. And then the director said, let's have Willie pounce on the apple like she's a starved hyena so the audience will know she will never be given anything to do in this movie that doesn't humiliate her. This has to be the assholiest apple scene since Genesis. This relationship makes zero sense, especially right now. They have been at each other's throats the entire time they've known each other, which at this point I think is around 2 days.
Harold has metastatic prostate cancer, but like you, Harold has stuff to do. He takes Nubeca.
Nubeca is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with prostate cancer that is spread to other parts of the body and responds to a medical or surgical treatment that lowers testosterone. It is not known if Nubeca is safe and effective in females or children. In a prostate cancer clinical study, Nubeca reduced the risk of cancer getting worse by almost half. You and your doctor will decide if Nubeca is right for you. Nubeca may cause serious side effects, including heart disease and seizure. Tell your doctor right away if you have chest pain or discomfort, shortness of breath, loss of consciousness, or seizure. Nubeca could harm unborn babies and cause loss of pregnancy. Use effective birth control during treatment and for 1 week after the last dose of Nubeca. Common side effects of Nubeca were increase in liver function tests, decreased white blood cells, and feeling more tired than usual.
Harold's passions give him purpose. Life changes. What you love doesn't have to. Talk to your doctor about Nubeca.
If you want me, Willie, you know where you can find me.
In a bedroom you're sharing with a young boy. This movie wastes a lot of time on whether Indy and Willie will f*** or not. Wow, I sure am glad this dude waited all this time to try and kill Indy. Think of all the tremendous humor about Indy and Willie's bruised egos we would have missed. So these flowers are moving because there's some sort of draft in the room, but there's no way it's moving them that much when the secret room is pretty tightly shut. Also, why would they put Willie in a room where the secret passage is located? I guess it could be hubris, but why take the damn chance that Indy or Willie would discover this? Well, looky there! Same drawing and everything. That sure worked out well for all involved in the quest. Why would there be so many bugs swarming around this one section of the secret room? It's not like there's food here, and it's not the place where all the evil resides. Like, you just came from a bedroom, and you're about to walk into another room that's just one big booby trap. Why is the entire insect kingdom here? So they walk from the bug-filled chamber to this room, which is a booby trap for some reason. Really, the only practical reason why this room is a booby trap is because it's a holdover from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and you gotta give the fans what they love. But even the way it booby traps is silly. This one button on the floor that you could easily miss seals up the room. And this in no way obvious stone on the door causes the ceiling with spikes to come down. The very location of all this makes no sense. Why would you build all this next to a random bedroom in the palace?
Oh, I broke a nail.
Another instance of I broke a nail. Jesus Christ, why is this character? Here's an extra 50 cents for this movie going out of its way to make Willie Scott the most insufferable character in the history of cinema. Also, how does she not feel this giant bug resting on her hand?
You can do it. Feel inside.
Look, movie, you can't show me all the spikes this close to their heads and then 20 seconds later pretend like the ceiling hasn't already collapsed and skewered and smashed these guys yet. Indy and Willie are able to get across the room and under the descending wall in time, valuing a hat this much. Jeez, I guess reaching into a dude's chest with your bare hands is pretty easy if that man's chest is made of paper mache. Looks like these guys are gonna die historic on the Fury Road. This might be the most specific sacrifice ritual ever made. Tear a dude's heart out, keep him alive, put him in a cage, and then melt his body? What the hell draws people to this religion? Do people get laid in this cult?
That's the rock they took from the village.
Super obvious statement is super obvious.
Where's he going?
Since there were guards behind Willie and Short Round, why did this asshole jump in front of them in the first place? Were the guards like, "Hey Hank, we can grab him from behind"? And then Hank replied with, "Yeah, that would work, but wait till I stick my head up and scare him. I'd like to know if I still have the ability to make people shit the pants." The isolated scream of one child is what brought Indy here, but when he arrives, we see hundreds of child slaves all working in this huge factory. He would have definitely heard more commotion and definitely more than just a single child screaming as if it were coming from hell's baby monitor. I appreciate Indy trying to save this kid, but that doesn't mean I buy for a second he would alert everyone to his presence without having a better plan in place. Were these guys behind Indy the whole time? What were they waiting for? And are they trained to pull all their blades out in unison? Do they get punished if any of them are off the mark? I want to know more about these guys. Where's their movie? Why are some of the prisoners chained up to where they can't move, and Shorty and a couple of the other kids are chained at the hands, but they can move around freely?
I keep telling you, you listen to me more, you live longer.
Short Round is still capable of making jokes when locked up in the child slavery dungeon.
They will make me drink the blood of the Kali. Then I'll fall into the black sleep of the Kali Ma.
Conveniently placed prisoner that delivers Indy and Short Round much-needed knowledge is conveniently placed.
Soon we will have all the 5 Shankara stones, and the Thuggies will be all powerful.
What a vivid imagination.
Indy, you just saw a man get his heart removed, and he was still alive. Maybe it's not imagination.
You don't believe me?
I mean, Indy is still 22 years away in his timeline from seeing aliens, so he's not quite there yet, Mola Ram. But these Sankara stones are going to look realistic as hell compared to what goes down in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Were the leather jacket, hat, and whip necessary for the Indy voodoo doll to work? Did the film make the Maharaja a kid so Short Round would have a nemesis? Because I think the film made the Maharaja a kid so Short Round would have a nemesis. Even if these people worship an evil god, this is still way too much overcandling. And why are there 3 candles per foot on this stone slab Indy is lying on? Meanwhile, in Bram Stoker's Dracula...
I'm not gonna have anything nice to say about this place when I get back.
Many people are unaware that shortly after these events, Willie Scott would create TripAdvisor. The movie's been pretty clear how f***ing evil this cult is. And there are always multiple slave drivers whipping children to make that fact clear. But now, when Short Round wants to break his chains, nobody's around. Why the f*** is there a rope dangling from this red hole? I probably don't want to be asking questions like that. Why are they sending Willie down into the fire pit without removing her heart first? There's not even a little bit of explanation about why her sacrifice would be different from the previous one we saw. Somehow, after drinking blood that changes your entire demeanor, or a dream from which you never wake up, someone can simply burn you and it snaps you out of it. We have a ritual headpiece off, we have a ritual headpiece on. Balaram! What? This trapdoor is more ridiculous than the one Rami Malek uses in No Time to Die. White savior narratives. Okay, everybody, when you're running out of the palace, make it look like you haven't seen the sunlight in a very long time. Just, well, I guess that message got to about 2 of you. Why did the Maharaja remove the pin from the doll? He had Indy down for the count. Why give him another chance to defeat you? Now this asshole is just sitting there with the voodoo doll wondering what to do while Indy rallies in the fight. Now he gets back to poking the doll as if this is a video game where you have a voodoo power bar to refill before you can go back to voodooing. Indy's head will be this close to the rock crusher for the next 14 goddamn seconds. And while I don't want Indy to die, and he can't since this is a prequel anyway, he should be dead. If they had guns, why were they coming at Indy with swords this whole time? Movie expects me to believe that Short Round's kicks and punches are this effective. I know I've been giving this movie a lot of crap, but the mine cart sequence is the and is one of the most memorable parts of all 3 films, because there are only 3 films in the Indiana Jones franchise. But also, a literal roller coaster ride. Like, who the made these tracks do this and why? We got company! You can take Han Solo out of the Star Wars, but you can't take the Star Wars out of Han Solo. Introducing one of the funniest, not the actors, shots in movie history. How big is this mine anyway? I thought the Kali cult was looking for 2 stones hidden by a priest in the catacombs, but this is a full-blown mine that goes for miles. Why would they ever need something this huge and intricate to search what should be a relatively small area? This is probably more impossible than the jump in speed. I'm sorry, I can't say that with a straight face, but still. Movie once again shows us something approaching that is way too close to escape, but we'll find a way to let the protagonist live anyway.
Now we gotta go help people customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Maybe where's the golf cart? There it is. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
As a mom of 2 boys, having health insurance is extremely important. I am beyond thankful of having coverage through healthcare.gov. It covers all of our doctor's appointments, including emergency care.
Healthcare.gov. Enroll by January 15th.
Check out these glowing assholes. I like how this movie shows the alligators down below, as if the steep fall off this bridge wouldn't kill them first. Also, they're supposed to be crocodiles, but they filmed alligators. Movie doesn't know how to geography. Hey look, it's a repeat of that scene from Raiders when Indy casually shot that guy. But guess what? He knows he doesn't have a gun here, right? How can he possibly not know that at this point? He needed a gun in the worst way for like the last 30 minutes of this movie. Amazing how the big hole Short Round put into this bridge a minute ago isn't there anymore. How the
Drop them, Dr. Jones! They will be found! You won't!
How does Mola Ram know for certain the stones will be found? And who's going to look for them in alligator-infested waters?
Behind you!
This bridge is on for some time. Can they not see Willie, Indy, and Short Round tying themselves to the bridge? Wouldn't that be a dead giveaway as to what's about to happen?
What are you doing?
What about this confuses Mola Ram? Indy has been holding the sword up for the last 20 seconds, and Short Round loudly pronounced they were going for a ride. Read the room, Mola Ram.
Indy, cover your heart!
Because of all the different things Mola Ram would do while hanging from a broken bridge on a cliff, it's that Kali Ma bullshit. Short Round predicts this so well, I think he gave Mola Ram the idea to do it. Man, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but this guy is evil. There are like 50 archers on this bridge, and you'd think one guy, even with terrible aim, would hit Indy, but they don't. Guys, I no longer know what's going on. It's crazy how gently Mola Ram's body hits this rock on the way down, as if physics is forgiving. By the way, with this movie and Romancing the Stone, we were kind of obsessed with people getting eaten by crocs and gators in 1984, weren't we? The movie pretends like Short Round can't find another angle to see Indy hanging from the bridge or ask the other side if they can see him. Movie shows Indy, Willie, and Short Round walking a lonely walk when we know there are hundreds of children following them, but for some reason they aren't in the picture, because this movie needs to make a big emotional reveal. But also, why aren't the kids already at home anyway? We saw the one kid earlier who escaped and found his way back to the village, so you'd think at least one person out of that group would know the way home. Did they wait for Indy to win the movie while they congregated at a Stuckey's? 50 Shades of, my God, this is f***ed up. Might want to wipe that elephant snot off your face before... Okay, you're just going for it.
Dismount!
What are they supposed to tie their horses to, though? The dead shrubs?
Indy. What are they doing? Indiana.
God damn it, kid. We get it already. That's young Indiana Jones.
Just tell Mr. Havelock that there are men living in the camps. Have him bring the sheriff.
How far away is the sheriff, though? He's not, like, right nearby.
Right. Run back. Mr. Havelock, the sheriff.
Fedora and his crew can't hear this kid loudly repeating what Indiana just said.
He's got our thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest piece of dialogue ever written. He's got our thing. Vehicles that definitely should have been closer to the cave entrance in the first place and should have clued the Boy Scouts that other people were already here magically show up from some hidden place when Fedora whistles for them. Wait, the bad guys had a truck waiting back where Indy's horse was? I am obligated to send this car driving over this terrain without incident. Come on, get it! Unnecessary orders. What is this crawlable and reinforced upper deck rail thing here? I assume the answer will be for feeding the dangerous animals, but why can't they just throw food in from the roof of the car or from a window opening on the side? Why should they have to maybe fall into one of these pits just so the animals can eat? Jeez, this whole Boy Scout adventure is Indiana Jones and the kingdom of the character scroll. All facets of his origin story get found here. His whip, the scar on his chin, his fear of snakes, and ultimately his fedora hat. I think building all the tiny facets of your character would take a lifetime. For Indy, it was running around on a circus train. Somehow Indy hides in this coffin in the magic car of the train, and that ends up with him running away from the train? There's no way this magic box prop is designed to work with the floor while inside a train car in transit. So however it works to make the magician invisible, it can't even theoretically send him outside the train entirely. At least not in a way where he's not also run over by said train. This train is moving slow enough, and that cross is worth enough money that some or all of these thieves should be jumping off the train right now to pursue.
I brought the sheriff.
But he didn't bring the deputy. Also, how did Herman know to come back to the Jones residence? Wasn't he supposed to bring people back to the mountain? Did news of the circus train get back that quickly? What's really weird is the bad guys, I guess, somehow got to the sheriff at the same time as Herman and managed to change the narrative, and God knows what happened to the other Boy Scouts and their leader. So Indy's signature hat look came from a thief who bought out the local cops to steal back a cross teen Indy took from him? That's disappointing. This asshole grabs the cross and is entirely too happy about getting it when he's still got bad guys to contend with on a boat in the middle of the goddamn ocean during a storm. After this huge explosion, a magical life raft shows up right next to Indy so that he can luck his way into the next scene. Who found him in the middle of the ocean? Well, very few people know this, but it was the RMS Carpathia.
Marcus, I did it.
You've got it.
Yes, I wanted to teach a class first before bringing you this monumental discovery. Didn't have time to do it beforehand. Just got off the Carpathia 15 minutes before the morning bell. Indiana kept the cross of Coronado in a f***ing unlocked drawer the whole time instead of a safe. He's been through entirely too much shit over this cross just to leave it exposed like that. The movie vastly overestimates Dr. Jones' popularity. Why the hell would so many people be eager to talk to him? Did someone time travel to 1989 to find films of his exploits? This office is honestly laughable. He has a huge water heater behind him, which is supposed to be a joke about how little the university respects his craft despite his apparently insane popularity. But then it's clear this is also the main storage facility for all the artifacts he's found, and storing old things near water is a recipe for disaster. But the film is only interested in advancing the Dr. Jones has so many artifacts plot lines, so you can eat it.
I know who you are, Mr. Donovan. Your contributions to the museum over the years have been extremely generous.
Makes you wonder then why he needed to send his men, who surrounded him like he had no choice but to come see their boss a minute ago. Yes, we know Donovan is a bad guy, but it seems like someone with his impeccable reputation could have simply made a f***ing phone call.
An old man's dream.
Every man's dream, including your father's, I believe.
By the way, your dad is missing. I won't tell you until the end of this scene. Anyway, you ever see that John Cleese movie about the Holy Grail? We are the knights who say knee, ha ha ha!
After the Grail was entrusted to Joseph of Arimathea, it disappeared and was lost for 1,000 years before it was found again by 3 knights.
Before it was found again is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. Where, when, and how was that found again?
This is how guys are treating hair loss in as little as 3 to 6 months.
Like, look at this. He went from this to this in just 3 months.
My boyfriend's dad is completely bald, so we thought he was doomed. Until he met multiple guys who treated their hair loss with this chew through Hims. It's a once-a-day chewable that combines ingredients that help stop hair loss and regrow hair in 3 to 6 months.
He couldn't believe something this simple actually worked.
And now all his friends are asking what he used.
If your hair is thinning or your hairline is receding, get the finasteride and minoxidil chews through Hims. Take the free assessment to get started now.
Factor clearly gets active lifestyles. They're developed by dietitians and prepared by chefs, so they're actually good. And they're ready in just minutes. These meals, protein shakes, and juices are exactly what I need to support my active lifestyle without having to take the time to meal prep. Sign up right now and get 50% off your first box.
Yeah.
This is the manuscript in which the friar chronicled the knight's story.
Holy sh**! There's an actual document of the night story of the Holy Grail, and it's not from some sort of bedtime story, as Indy keeps derisively calling it? Where do you find that sh**? Isn't the discovery of the document huge in itself? Andy doesn't even bother to ask about it.
It doesn't reveal the location of the Grail, I'm afraid, but the knight promised that 2 markers that had been left behind would.
So, once again, some dickheads decided to make the quest for a valuable object a dickish one. They left 2 markers with absolutely no context for how to find them in the first place, which makes you wonder if they even wanted other people to find them, or why this knight bothered to tell the friar this story. The quest for the Grail is also going to involve passing 3 tests of faith, also dickish. Why go through all this, ever? What's the end game? Once these knights get out of this personally or in their service to God?
We're only 1 step away.
It's usually when the ground falls out from underneath your feet.
For quickening.
Why don't you try my father?
We already have. Your father is the man who's disappeared.
Oh, silly me. I should have mentioned this at the very beginning. Well, anyway, I'm definitely not a villain.
Stan's Grail Diary. Why would he have sent this to me?
Good question! Since we find out later he sent it so the bad guys wouldn't get it, which you'd think he'd mention in a note somewhere instead of making Indy guess. Anyway, that probably wouldn't be a movie if he did, so yay! Movie!
I believe the Grail actually exists. The search for the cup of Christ is the search for the divine in all of us.
Classic example of not answering the question.
How will we recognize this Dr. Schneider when we see him?
Amazing that Donovan didn't tell them that Dr. Schneider was some hot lady. He played an early version of that game where people try to show you how sexist you are when they tell you the riddle of the son and his father who are badly injured and are sent to the hospital, where the doctor says they can't operate on the kid because he's my son, and you're so baffled because the father was clearly taken into surgery, but then you say, oh, I know, the kid has 2 dads. One is a doctor and the other is a clumsy You almost made me say the mom was a doctor. Holy how embarrassing would that have been?
Now, please excuse me. The library is closing in a few moments. I'll arrange for us to stay a little longer.
Is there any reason you didn't make these arrangements on the way in? Would he not find where to dig if you were still in the room? By the way, what the is this map that Indiana's dad drew? What exactly was this supposed to do, other than tell people that these Roman numerals were important? Why wasn't it scrawled in the diary, instead of this scrap that he conveniently left behind? Love the scene where Indy climbs to the second story in order to be able to see an X on the floor that anyone on the first floor could have easily seen. Movie requires this librarian to be stupid for Indy's plan to work. Also, Indy isn't exactly timing this on purpose, so what was his plan if security or police came in? This is a great comedy bit, and it makes us forget about what a problem this would be, but guess what, f***ers? I created a YouTube channel 23 years after this movie was made, so I could totally ignore that. 3 big taps with a metal stand made from weak-ass metal is all it takes to open up this stone floor. This is the Brotherhood of the Cruciform Sword, who I guess have a fire station-style headquarters here in this library in case they get word that someone is f***ing with the X on the floor. I'd love to know how they got informed of this, and what their hours are like. Brody sits here looking down the hole and hears people coming, but does absolutely nothing. You'd think they'd want to cover up the fact that they broke through the floor a minute ago and at least put the tile back in and put a book over the hole and maybe even use the stanchions to block it off, but apparently they were in no way concerned about getting caught. I guess after Stamper Guy didn't catch them earlier, their concern was officially over.
What's this one?
The Ark of the Covenant.
I'm surprised there isn't a Temple of Doom drawn somewhere in these catacombs. I like how Indy creates a torch from a skeleton arm, some clothing, and a lighter, and then when we see the torch in action, it doesn't appear to be adding much more light than the movie's lighting already provides. Instead of just having her take off her heels, movie decides to throw her over the strong man's shoulder, ass facing the camera, because this movie is for the manly men. Why would an entire left side of a shield be covered in dust when the other side is mostly clean? In this dark-ass tomb filled with petroleum, Indy is able to see down here as if there are natural lights down here, and it's just plain water. Also, this is all we see that is supposed to prove that Indy found a way out of here. There's almost no way there's an exit. We're supposed to believe this somehow connects with a sewer tunnel later. Why are these assholes running out of the building like they know where Indy and Elsa went? They burned the river of petroleum, and there's no way they could have walked down to confirm whether they were dead or not, or that they found a magic sewer connection down in the tube.
Are you crazy? Don't go between them!
Go between them, are you crazy?
Hilarious miscommunication, but what the was Elsa doing? If she thought going in between them was crazy, then why was she aiming the boat that way? While one of the boats chasing them was smart enough to go around these two converging ships, the people driving this boat inexplicably go between them.
Ask yourself, why do you seek the cup of Christ?
Because the people who last had it wrote down instructions on how to find it.
Marcus, you remember what the Grail tablet said?
You talk about the Grail tablet as if an etching of it isn't sitting right in front of you. You don't have to remember what it said. It's right there. This room is trashed. He was literally across the hall and would definitely have heard this happening.
Since I met you, I've nearly been incinerated, drowned, shot at, and chopped into fish bait.
Yes, this is true, but wouldn't all of those things have happened anyway if Indy's dad had put the scrap of paper with the Roman numerals on it inside the Grail diary? I thought an archaeologist knew the difference between correlation and causation.
I'm gonna continue to do things the way I think they should be done.
Don't worry, kids. It's okay, because she ends up sleeping with him. Also, since Elsa is an antagonist and now knows where the diary is, and she's about to do something very James Bondian and sleep with Indy to strengthen trust, why isn't she able to just steal it in the middle of the night and leave before Indy notices? I think it's interesting that to get to Salzburg on the Austrian-German border, they actually had to cross into Germany briefly and then back into Austria. What's that? Really? Huh. Well, folks, I'm being told that it's not actually very interesting. Apologies. Indy knocks the butler out cold with a single backhanded punch. Why the f*** does he need a whip or a gun when he's this f***ing strong? I wonder why they didn't spring for the really big map.
Alexandria, of course. On the Pilgrim Trail from Eastern Empire.
It sounds like you could have figured out where the Grail was by the process of elimination. I mean, I'd want to know for a fact what city to start from before going on a journey too, but someone who's been obsessed with the Grail for this long might have deduced this without the second marker. What the hell took these guys so long? Did they read the script?
What? Trust me.
Henry very annoyingly doesn't tell Indy why he knows this for a fact, hoping that trust decides this. I can't believe I've never noticed this random hair, probably Elsa's, stuck in Indy's chin stubble. Now I will never not see it.
This book contained a map with no names.
I'll tell you what's really unbelievable is how Elsa didn't spy camera the out of this diary during the time she spent with Henry. I'm sure by this point the Nazis had heard of Walter Zapp. Okay, so this ramp is a trick that goes into a truck instead of a building, but I have questions. How did they know that Brody and Sala would shake off the two men in the black suits? How did they know the pair would then run this direction and absolutely for certain choose this ramp as the escape option? Also, why were 2 bowls of peppers holding this door down? This is a fucking waste of delicious peppers. Okay, so cool. They decided not to kill the Joneses just in case they can't get what they need from Brody. But why do they keep them tied up in a room like this with no guards? Do they really think that is an inescapable situation? Everything in this room has been doused in vodka. How the f*** did the Joneses, especially the older one, get up there? I mean, I'm happy they found a way. I'm just happier to call it bullshit.
Not going on the boat!
Pretty f***ing obvious no one is on that boat, but sure, send this entire squad to go after it. Could they just not wait until the bad guys were on the boat and in the water first? This misdirection is barely a misdirection at all. This dude waited way too long to attempt to shoot. What tactical advantage is he getting here with this goof-ass wheel you land on the back of their thing with your front wheel thing? Okay, get prepared for some hilarity as Indy throws this pole into the motorcycle wheel. In the next shot, we can clearly see the dummy they rigged for this with an explosive charge that sends the dummy flying. And this amazing shot of the dummy practically looking down at the Joneses as if to say, F*** my life.
You're going the wrong way. We have to get to Berlin.
Brody's this way! So they are currently on the Austrian-German border, and the sign next to them shows Berlin going one way and Venice going the other. As far as Indy knows, Brody is in Iskender, which is in what we moderns call Turkey. Surely he's not suggesting that they need to drive the motorcycle to Turkey from here. Also, they stop on the side of the road and literally turn off the bike to have a chat, as though none of the dudes that were chasing them will keep chasing them, or no other guards will ever show up in pursuit. You guys are wanted dead by the main f***ing guy in that outfit.
But I found the clues that will safely take us through. In the Chronicles of St. Anselm.
Well, what are they?
I wrote them down in my diary so that I wouldn't have to remember.
Henry Jones's character is that he's so obsessed with finding the Grail that he spent a lifetime studying it, practically neglecting fatherhood to do so. I guarantee he didn't write down the clues only to never look at them again, but I guess it's off to Berlin for f***'s sake.
The armies of darkness will march all over the face of the earth.
Doesn't the Grail just, like, keep you young? I don't think you can clone people with it, for instance. And I don't think it helps if you get blown up by a bomb or a grenade. I guess I'm struggling to see how the thing would create an unbeatable army of the damned. Hey, what gives? Someone took a recent American news clip and inserted it into this 80s action-adventure film. This is something Spielberg is extremely good at, and that's using subtle camera placement and movement to give you the whole deal without forcing unneeded dialogue. We know that Indy has knocked out a guard, hit in the body, and stolen his uniform to blend in, and the camera just started in the right place and gently lifted to the next right place. If this was a Marvel movie, they not only would have felt compelled to show us the guard being knocked out, but they'd also cut it to death. But also, how did they cross the border into Germany and deep into Berlin without getting caught? A middle-aged guy wearing a fedora and an old guy driving around on a motorcycle with a sidecar shouldn't be that hard to radio in. She's crying at the burning of the books because, you see, she's one of the good ones.
All I have to do is squeeze.
All I have to do is scream.
Not if you're getting strangled, Elsa. Besides, with all the noise and shit, I doubt you would be heard anyway. Why did the Jones boys decide to take a blimp out of Germany? They drove there. Why not drive back? And if you're worried about roadblocks, then wouldn't those same authorities have blimp blocks in place as well? The no-ticket scene is classic, and I'm glad Indy kicked Vogel's ass off the blimp, but I remember him being accompanied by another person who was helping him out. He never appears again. Wouldn't Vogel be discovered and the blimp flight grounded until they sorted this out? Why did they dump all the luggage out here and never load it up into the Zeppelin?
It's disgraceful. You're old enough to be her grandfather.
Dude, you're like 47, twice her age. And if stuff I've read about your relationship with Marion Ravenwood is true, you've never been too concerned with age when it comes to sex and dating. He's not in the shot, but Tom Cruise actually learned how to fly a real World War II era biplane for this movie.
Ready to start a hands-on career? At Universal Technical Institute, you can get focused automotive training and use tools and technology found in the field. And here's the best part. You can graduate in less than a year. Start building your future. Apply today. Hands-on training for real careers. Visit uti.edu.
Running late, slamming out the door. Stack of papers spilling on the floor. Schedule's lost, can't find a plan. That's the life of paperman. Crazy days, you can't get ahead. Dreams of superstars stuck instead. What he needs is a brand new plan. A CRM like Jobber help the paperman.
When Jobber handles the paperwork, there's more you to handle the real work. Start your free trial today at jobber.com.
Damn, I knew this guy was distracted by the plane flying overhead, but I didn't realize he was so distracted that he could miss two people jumping into his car before the car even started. Look, movie, you can't show me the bullets getting this close to the car and in the next 2 seconds tell me that the car didn't get hit by bullets. Quickly, slow! Now, how did you know there was a tunnel around that corner? The crashed plane is going down the exact middle of the tunnel, and yet Indy can just pull his car to the side and allow it to pass by like there's that kind of room in here. Wait, why is that gun empty? I'm pretty sure he hasn't fired it all movie. Does this mean it was empty when he had it drawn back when they snuck into the castle? Pappy Jones is addicted to birds. While Indy admires his bird-killing dad from afar, the next question should be, how the f*** are they going to get back to civilization so they can get to Iskenderun and catch up with Donovan? All their vehicles are dead and they are in the middle of nowhere. The movie will cut to Donovan asking permission from the powers that be to search for the Grail, and with the snap of the editor's fingers, Indy and Henry are riding with Sala at the very city they need to be, as if they literally traveled by map like the Muppets did.
Now they have the map, and in this sort of race, there's no silver medal for finishing second.
Yes, but they don't have any idea about the 3 challenges they're going to face. You could technically just let them all die trying to get the Grail. I guess you still have to save Brody, but they clearly can't get the Grail without the diary. You've had God knows how many hours to plan for this. And your best idea is, well, maybe we can beat them to the location before they get there. Without any explanation, Indy, Henry, and Sala got to this point before Donovan. This is an Atlanta Falcons versus New England Patriots in the Super Bowl kind of collapse. Also, this motherfucker is too smart to be this dumb. Also, they cannot see the vehicle up on the ridge behind Indy, and yet later the bad guy says,
"In this sun, without transportation, they're as good as dead."
So how the did they know there was a car up there, and how the hell did they know they had destroyed it? I just don't understand the purpose of this Brotherhood of the Cruciform Sword. They're dedicated to protecting the Grail, sure, but why? Do they not know what kind of shit you have to go through to get it? The 3 challenges and the secret 4th one are the defense. People are allowed to do this. The Grail Knights wouldn't have set this up otherwise. Maybe they don't know about the challenges, but that raises even more questions. The Wilhelm line has been protecting the Holy Grail for 1,000 years. Man, these guys had the high ground and it didn't do shit to help them. Why is the fake blood in this movie so bad?
Change of the restoration. 8-hour resuscitation.
Movie has time for this, even though Henry and Brody clearly don't have time for this.
Jones is getting away!
I think not, Herr Donovan.
Not that Jones, the other Jones!
Wait, did Donovan know Indy was getting away before he entered the frame? The horses were not far behind this tank. And isn't Donovan the de facto leader? Can't he just order the other underlings to go after Jones without sticking his head down in a tank to summon Vogel? Furthermore, Indy is riding a horse while leading 3 others. And while catching him with the cars is the obvious play, they decide to let the slow, cumbersome tank lead. Also, why can't Donovan just yell to Indy, "We have your father, Dr. Jones," and stop this right now? They have all the leverage in this scene, not Indy. As we see Indy riding his horse out of view of the tank, all the people in the cars just let him ride past without as much as taking a shot. I mean, we're supposed to be all happy because the tank turns right into this Jeep or whatever, but did they not see Indy riding right past them? Does anyone want to aim a gun? Indy puts so much stock in this working that he willingly puts himself in the line of fire in a minute. And yeah, of course it works, but that's not the f***ing point. F*** yourself straight to Mars if you're saying they can hear each other. Apparently, the guy guarding Indy's dad has absolutely no interest in what's going on just above him and completely misses a whole-ass gun getting dropped within Henry's reach. Mad Max, hurry slow. The ricocheting bullet kills the tank driver, who slumps onto the controls and causes the tank to veer strongly to the right, saving Indy's life. If not for the randomness of the math of ricocheting bullets, Indy dies here and now. Indy is so lucky he should quit archaeology and go into professional gambling. Why would this ancient architecture carved into a cavern wall be so pristine and undiscovered? Weird to me that there aren't any cars parked outside. Donovan and his crew didn't walk here, did they? There was plenty of space for their cars to drive through the canyon. Also curious, why dismount 50 feet from the entrance when there's nothing to tie the horses to? Strange that this dude's head would just go tumbling this far backwards for maximum horror, especially since the first guy they sent also managed to lose his head, but it fell right next to his body. This guy casually gut shots Indy's dad to convince Indy to go do Grail shit, but he could easily have killed Pappy Indy here. I mean, he definitely probably killed him long term, because stomach wounds are notorious for bleeding out. But, I mean, just by how casually he hip-fired that weapon without aiming, that's bad form.
The healing power of the Grail is the only thing that can save your father now. It's time to ask yourself what you believe.
The Grail keeps you young. The Grail heals all wounds. The Grail gets good grades. The Grail time travels and keeps your mom from being murdered. The Grail does all.
Is humble, kneels before God.
Kneels! So he kneels and dodges the blade that would have cut off his head. But what is this asshole blade that comes from the ground? So does the penitent man kneel or stop, drop, and roll for God? Also, you not only have to solve the riddle of the kneeling, you have to time it perfectly, and that's just not sporting whatsoever. This riddle is hard unless you see two decapitated guys right in front of you. I say Indy cheated by virtue of outside information. J? Somehow Indy is able to step on the incorrect J letter and survive and still be able to continue the quest. This is a fairly dumb challenge, all told. It's way more forgiving than the first challenge. This is a spelling bee with mulligans. Why didn't the booby trap makers anticipate the evil people who would follow the puzzle solvers into the Vault of Awesome? The forced perspective of this optical illusion bridge is pretty neat, but the Grail Knights are total dicks for not making this wider and less nopey. I know we're supposed to laugh at the knight who is so old that he can't do his job anymore, but why the f*** is someone who passes the 3 tests subject to this bullshit? I've said it once, and I'll say it again. If you don't want people taking your treasure, then don't leave roadmaps to it. Even vague, nearly impossible to solve roadmaps.
Knew you would come.
Really? Why did you make so many booby traps then?
Because it's you who vanquished.
He didn't vanquish you, you're just really f***ing old.
But as the true Grail will bring you life, the false Grail will take it from you.
I'm completely down with a grail that belonged to Jesus Christ giving you renewed life, but I'm not down with a false grail ending it. Anything like that would need to be set up by the Grail Knights, aka not warlocks. They created 3 practical challenges for this quest. Maybe they laced all the false grails with a poison that instantly ages you, but I think the movie wants us to believe it's some punishment brought by God, which makes no sense either. According to this movie, the grail was found by these knights 1,000 years after Joseph of Arimathea lost it. There was no particular quest attached to it. Anyone who found it could use it, but these assholes decided, let's make a game. An impossible game. Nay, an impossible game where even if you do nearly everything right, we'll kill your ass if you can't pick the right grail out of a lineup. It's very Christian of us.
He chose poorly.
Well, she chose poorly. Donovan just went with it. But God lived by the immortal words of Rush. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
That's typical carpentry.
This is the only cup in the whole place that isn't made of some sort of precious metal. Kind of surprised these jerkwad knights didn't throw in 5 other grails that could have been made by a carpenter. Surprised the Grail Knight didn't run over and throw a bunch of exact replicas up in the air while knocking the real grail out of Indy's hands. Feel free to make a guess, jerk off.
The Grail cannot pass beyond the Great Seal. That is the boundary and the price of immortality.
Besides, why should there be any proof of God anywhere? How would that help the world? Attracting followers through faith alone has worked so well so far. Why does Indy even have to pour the water on the bullet wound? Why didn't the drinking heal it? And holy shit, what a waste of magical water. Everybody except the bad guys should have had a drink. The Grail still has water in it, despite having been completely emptied by Wastiana Jones just a moment ago.
It's ours, Indy. Yours and mine.
Elsa's not a good person, no matter how much the movie tried to redeem her since the moment they left Castle Grayskull. But considering the choices made with her character in the latter half, I find it incredibly disorienting that she turns into Grail Gollum at the end. How do you booby trap an underground cave to have an earthquake based on someone triggering their trap? That shit makes me angry. Indy absolutely throws himself after Elsa, even though he only recently met her. He seems willing to die to save her. I would have removed every sin if the Grail Knight flipped him off instead.
What did you find, Dad? Me. Illumination.
Papa Jones is responsible for all those terrible, Despicable Me movies.
We named the dog Indiana. You are named after the dog?
The movie comes up with the terrible origin story for Indy's name that rivals the terrible origin story for Nick Fury's Scar. Mountains into Molehills. Story by George Lucas. Russian dude throws out Indiana's hat so the audience can squeal with delight that Indiana Jones has made his arrival.
Flensburg, there was twice as many.
Indy makes a casual reference to an adventure that would easily have made a better movie than this one. I know they shot their way onto the base, but is the rest of the base completely deserted? No one's gonna ask any questions about the prisoners held at gunpoint or all the dead soldiers out at the gate?
Where is it you would imagine I am from?
Oscar-winning actress reduced to a cartoon accent. All the mystery of the warehouse from Raiders of the Lost Ark vanished.
The contents of that box are highly magnetized.
So magnetized that its magnetic field can attract gunpowder in midair from a distance while it's in a crate inside a metal box underneath a whole bunch of other crates. Also, did they really need Indiana Jones for this? What were they expecting him to do? Did they really think after 10 years Indiana would be able to precisely locate a crate in a large warehouse even if he stored it himself?
Give me some shotgun shells.
Pliers. Old Indiana Jones is really more MacGyver than Indiana Jones. These crowbars amusingly stick to the metal container right after they open the crate, but if this alien box is as magnetized as they say, they should have had trouble before then. What? Now the metal light fixtures are affected by the box? Because the plywood shipping crate was dense enough to keep the magnets from being strong enough before?
What you want to do is save hundreds when Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
That's great, but can you ask your friend to stop digging into the green?
I can ask, but he's not going to.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Need a UGC video for your business? Find me and many other skilled creators on Fiverr. Or you could grab a top camera, add good lighting to make everything pop. Learn the latest trends, stay updated, videos change fast. Plan your content, be consistent and creative. Know your platforms, adapt your content. Each one's different. Edit like a pro, cut, trim, and polish. Make it shine, but not too shine. It's still user-generated content. Or just find your next creator on Fiverr.
Why, Mac? Indiana Jones gets betrayed by someone who's pretending to be his friend cliché.
Damn, I thought that was closer.
Russian soldier guys don't immediately start killing Indy so that he can deliver this wisecrack. Hey, that looks like the same arc from the first movie. Why aren't the lights swaying to follow the magnetic thing in the car Indy's driving? Nobody does terrible aim like Indiana Jones bad guys. Why the f*** would this thing be here? It offers no light, you can't see through it, it's totally pointless. Never construct a secret military supercar launching facility so that the supercar can be launched by someone falling onto the console. Also, here's yet another part of this military base that's completely deserted. This supercar is cool and all, but I'm dying to know what the local prairie dogs might be up to. Ah, whoa, look at that. I spoke too soon. I don't know if these things are groundhogs or prairie dogs or gophers, but we're expecting 6 more weeks of winter anyway. Apparently this thing's only magnetized when Indiana Jones needs to find it in some convoluted way. Everything about the house is fake. The people aren't real, the water lines don't work, but the electricity does, and the TV antenna, and it's turned to howdy doody. Indy is too stupid to spot an obvious nuclear testing town, but smart enough to know in a matter of 10 seconds that a lead-lined fridge would protect him from a nuclear blast. Also, everyone who has ever watched this movie has already dinged this. The only thing that gets thrown by the bomb is the fridge, and it perfectly flies over the bad guy's car. Let's not forget, even if he survived the blast, this probably should have killed him too. Indy, meet this prairie dog, meet Indy. One of you is the star of this movie. I'm just sure of it. Even if he survived the nuclear blast and ensuing bouncing flight across the desert, why the f*** wouldn't he die from radiation poisoning after getting out of the fridge so close to the blast site? Look how close he is to the mushroom cloud. Face it, Indiana Jones is dead. Don't believe me? Just keep watching this movie. Just pretend the guy in the suit is a lady, Indy. Take the free scrub job.
You mean that Air Force fiasco in 47?
Indy makes a casual reference to an adventure that would easily have made a better movie than this one.
Don't you know it's dangerous to climb into a refrigerator? Those things can be death traps.
Apparently not.
What exactly am I being accused of besides surviving a nuclear blast?
Did Professor Jones just say nuclear? Sean Connery probably still earned $1 million just by appearing in this photograph. Also, apparently someone took a picture of Marcus during the scene where he was lost in The Last Crusade and ended up giving it to Indy in a frame. Indy, the government suits, and his unknown illegitimate son all arrive at the train station at the exact same time. Also, how the f*** did he know Indy was going to be here? Later on, we find out Mutt doesn't even know he's a professor, so he didn't go by the school and ask Dean Charles where he might be.
You're gonna kill him!
Mutt plays the pronoun game so that Indy has to figure out who they means.
Hodgkiss? Hedgkiss? The one he found.
Geez, this server doesn't notice shit, does she? Guy who already had a Coke and a milkshake also ordered a beer.
Whoever returns the skull to the city temple will be given control over its power.
What's the power?
I don't know, kid. It's just a story.
Damn, Indy, how many times have you said that and it ever turned out to be a myth?
Mary Williams, you remember her?
We're a lot of Marys, kid.
Shut up. That's what mother you're talking about.
Well, that's a reasonable reaction. Also, somehow Mutt either doesn't know or doesn't think to tell Indy his mom's maiden name. And why the shortening from Mary into Mary, anyway? Indy turns back over 2 condiments that in the previous shot hadn't even fallen down.
She called me 2 weeks ago from South America.
South America is a continent, dude.
The thing's pointless, though. It's gibberish. It's not even English lettering.
Kid who grew up worshipping archaeologist Oxley thinks all non-English writing is worthless. Who is this actor playing Mutt, anyway? I feel like he used to be famous.
I think you just brought a knife to a gunfight.
I have a feeling this was Sean Connery's line before he turned down the cameo appearance for this film. Diner scene suddenly turns into West Side Story. Also, sudden appearance of fellow leather jacket bros just in time for a fight cliche.
Get that greaser!
You see, stuff like this is why this movie is bad.
Your mom didn't escape. They let her go so she could mail a letter. And you could bring it to me and I could translate it.
Huh? Does that mean that she wrote a letter to Mutt while she was being held captive and the kidnappers saw it and said, oh, we'd better let her go so she can mail this? Instead of just, taking it from her and mailing it on their own? What? Everyone is walking through the library like they don't hear a guy riding a motorcycle through it. I mean, don't you clear out as soon as you see some shit like this? This is the first of the Wilhelm clan to go to college, I believe.
Excuse me, Dr. Jones.
Steven Spielberg tries his hand at directing a Zucker Brothers film. The Russians are looking for me to kidnap me, so let's go back to my apartment, where I live, where it's a matter of public record that I call that place my residence. Let's go there. Muck combs his hair in this movie so many times the continuity person on this movie started to lose track.
Nobody speaks it. Hasn't been heard aloud in 3,000 years. I might be able to read a bit, though, if I walk it through Mayan first.
Those two languages are not related. Indiana Jones movie rips off the traveling by map thing from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Pancho Villa. Technically, I was kidnapped.
Indy makes a casual reference to an adventure that would have easily made a better movie than this one. All tiny dirt road villages in South America have sanitariums. This fan must have been turned on today after not being in use for 10 years.
Cradle birth. Oriana wasn't born in Peru, he was born in Spain.
Why didn't Indiana make this connection before? He translated this letter in the States and should have known immediately that the word didn't mean birthplace for this very reason.
Ox didn't mean Oriana's birthplace.
Oxley left a lot of things to chance for people to find it. He wrote a riddle in a dead language that had to be walked through Mayan to be translated. He carved a picture of a cemetery in his cell, a cell they only found because Indy speaks some language that, oh my god, Pancho Villa's guys apparently taught him. It would have been amazing if Oxley could have found himself.
He's been wrapped up for 500 years.
Indy rounds 400 years to 500.
Is this one open already?
Hey, I need a line that points out to the audience that this one's already open. You know, just in case they can't tell by looking. Once again, none of the other metal things in the general vicinity of this dead guy are being pulled toward his chest plate. Mutt's knife even waits several seconds before being affected by this thing. Magnets! How do they work?
Maybe the Spaniards found the skull along with all this other loot. Maybe the Indians caught up with the murder.
Good archaeology always leans heavily on speculation.
Put it back where he found it. Why?
I don't know, but we should definitely do the opposite. Bad guys lock up Indy in a gynecology chair. Also, where's all this electricity coming from out here in the middle of the Amazon? I mean, generators, sure, but damn. How many generators for this tent alone? Ukraine girl turns the dial from straight up to the next notch on the right, but it's already in that position in the previous shot.
It was not made by human hands.
Who made it then?
Come on. Indy's reaction is exactly what the filmmakers should have thought before making this movie.
Indiana Jones.
See? See this? You'll like this movie because we just referenced this other movie, right?
Auto writing, I should have seen this.
Yes, you should have. He was obviously moving his hand in a writing motion.
Henry Jones III.
Mutt's last name is Williams, so he's Henry Williams the First, technically.
He grabbed the rope!
Grab the rope!
Indy is a 5-year-old. This would have torn the snake in half.
Good work, Ox. Thanks.
Honestly, did the Russians actually need Crazy Ox telling them where everybody was? They were all yelling in the quicksand, so they should have found everyone pretty easily. We interrupt this Indiana Jones sequel to bring you Avatar. The Russians decide not to learn their lesson and just throw away Indy's whip already.
You vanished after that.
Vanished? Where could Indy vanish? In Raiders, the year is 1936. In Temple of Doom, it's 1935 for some reason. And in The Last Crusade, it's 1938. And he's banging that Elsa chick in The Last Crusade. So in 1937, Indy and Marion must have had an everyday normal relationship where Indy introduced her to his friends, including Oxley. In all those years, Indy is still a professor at Marshall College. He couldn't have gone anywhere for a long time, at least not by the context clues of the other films. Doesn't the driver hear all this commotion in the back? It's not like there's a solid wall between him and the passengers. Also, aren't there other vehicles behind them that could see this? Yep, there is. And of course, they didn't find his knife and confiscate it. Why would they? Oh, so wait, there's no one behind them? Look, either there is or there isn't cars behind them. Either way, it's dumb to have your valuable prisoners, especially someone as sneaky as Indiana Jones, riding in the back of a convoy.
Factor is proof that healthy food can taste unbelievably good. The Mediterranean diet is the world's healthiest diet, and Factor makes it easy to eat that way every day. A true Mediterranean meal should be full of colorful fruits and veggies. At Factor, it's all about abundance. Whole grains, lean proteins, healthy fats, and with the new Mediterranean-inspired options every week, you'll never get bored. Just heat, eat, and enjoy in 2 minutes. Want Mediterranean meals made easy? Sign up to get 50% off your first box.
Okay, I have no idea where everything is in relation to each other now. This anti-Greenpeace tank was at the very front of the convoy, destroying trees. Indy's bazooka shot hits it on its side. How he hit it at that angle, we'll never know. Now, if something comes off the tank and hits this truck and bounces over 2 other vehicles, the Indian crew are way in the back here. Wherever he shot this thing, he's in no position to do so. And what the fuck is going on? A boat car? We better swap this truck for that boat car. No telling when that might come in handy. What are they shooting at? It's a good thing Mutt told us he was good at fencing earlier. I'm glad that paid off randomly here. Great, we're gonna see Mutt do some sword fighting, but couldn't he use that gun that's on the front of this thing? Are we still on the road that was created by the rainforest killing machine? Mutt's on the hood here, but finds himself in the backseat in the very next shot. Am I wrong, or could the driver move slightly to the right and this fight would be over? Also, Mutt is about to run right into a tree. There's really no stopping it, but right after Indy hits the rushing car, the tree becomes a non-factor and the movie does the cute little Mutt and Spalco switch cars stunt. Come on, this dude should have been knocked out after one hit. The skull's amazing, remember? Also, Skull somehow loses its magnetic properties again. Oh well. Indy's car behind is like 50 yards behind in this shot, but then magically only 10 feet behind when Mutt falls. Mutt falls backwards and flails wildly, but the skull is somehow thrown forward enough for Spalco to catch it easily.
What are you looking at, Daddy-O?
Dude, the f***ing gun! You're propped up against the solution to this problem. I miss Stan Winston. We interrupt this Indiana Jones sequel to bring you a game of pitfall. Mutt just caught up to speeding vehicles by swinging on vines. Also, the monkeys of the Amazon are anti-communist by nature. None of these people died when the car was run over.
Big damn ants, go!
Big damn ants. Where the f*** have these guys been all this time? How did they know to drive here? I'm starting to think these guys are using blanks. If ants that could eat you this quickly actually existed, I'm pretty sure South America would be completely uninhabited. Thank God the killer ants have carved 2 separate paths around this fistfight so that Indy doesn't get eaten. I mean, I know Ox took out the skull and the ants scattered around him, but why did they continue to separate well after passing the skull? Here's a perfect opportunity to cut the ropes and kill all the bad guys. Soon to be wasted.
Mom, slow down!
This guy calls Mutt's mom, Mom.
That's the idea!
Bad idea! Get it away, Mom!
Trust me!
Okay, so Marion saw this tree a few minutes ago and actually thought to herself, yeah, this tree will catch this vehicle and lay us gently into the water later. Reality. This boat car somehow travels 100 yards in the time it takes the tree to snap back up to the top. This kind of kills people. What the actual f***? Okay, so remember how they got in here. They pulled these rocks out, the sand came out, and this bullshit happened, and they fell down into the place. So this should only have to ever be done once. Because who's going to fill all that sand back up and replace all the stones that keep the sand in? Yet they are dead adventurers on spikes down here, who apparently got this far before. Who's in charge of getting all the columns back into place and the sand refills? Magnetic, and now all the gold has lost interest in being attracted to this skull, and the other coins that were moving, I guess, gave up. Guy who stole treasure ends up dying over it, cliche. Thanks for putting that skull back on my body. Now, f*** you. Also, how did the skull get torn off the alien's head in the first place? If the aliens have a hive mind and all this power, and someone walked into the chamber, how would a puny human be able to get close enough to cut the head off an interstellar being such as this? Then steal it, then leave the pyramid. I mean, did the whole thing with the sand and the booby-trapping stairway and the chamber you can only get into by sticking a crystal skull in it get built after the skull was stolen? And what the f*** for? To make it harder to put the skull back on the alien? Who the f*** did what and when in this story? Alien Spaceship Palace has a built-in mechanism to shoot wandering humans out of harm's way before liftoff. Man, so much bullshit just happened, I think the dinger might have broken.
But their treasure wasn't gold, it was knowledge.
And also that load of gold that was down there. No! Oh, thank God.
Disney was smart enough to spread this blame around. Why do all these artifacts have to go back to Jesus? The Ark, the Grail, now this blade. I mean, Jesus! What is with the f***ing hubris of Hollywood with these younger version deepfakes? Started with X-Men The Last Stand and then Tron Legacy, and sure, they've gotten better, but they are still uncanny valley as f***. And even if this were perfect, did we really need to flash back to younger Indy? I swear all the sequels in this franchise believe that the main thing that worked in the first film was that Indy had a hat and a whip. He's going to ensure the vehicle keeps going at top speed while he goes out to battle a guy on a nearby motorcycle, and somehow he's still going to make his way back into this vehicle like he planned the whole thing, and this is a Simpsons episode. Also, this works, or Indy survives this. Take your pick. I choose both. Wilhelm Nazis. If you put out an Indiana Jones video game for the PS5 today and said this was a still from it, I would believe you. You want me to believe this is a live-action younger Indy? Well, then we are not cut from the same cloth, because I was cut from the cloth of reality. Too many Nazis. My personal view of the current world somehow makes its way into this movie.
I thought I told you to stay in the woods, Baz.
I mean, technically he did. He only came out of the woods when he was being chased by Nazis and dogs. Not sure how he was supposed to remain in the woods at that point.
What sort of a man hides in a hedge while his friend is facing death?
I mean, I probably would. But also, someone who doesn't want to needlessly die in protest seems like a fine answer.
Archimedes dial.
Ah, the titular dial of destiny, which has never been spoken of prior to this 5th Indiana Jones movie. So glad we found it. This movie is going to be over so quickly. Also, they couldn't talk about this while on the run or when they get to safety.
You want to stop for a little lie now?
Kind of. They actually only have half of the Antikythera, which seems like a very important plot point that Hannibal Lecter here keeps glossing over, bringing a knife to an Indiana Jones fight. He's had his goddamn whip this whole fucking time and he's just now using it. That feels like something you should have started with.
Shoot him!
What took place ever in Indy's experiences with Baz to think he would be a great shot with a gun? Because I've only known Baz for 10 minutes, and I could have told you he is fucking not a good shot with a gun.
They can't hear you, Baz!
Baz thinks they can hear him.
Baz!
Polo, instant coffee. There are literally no positive qualities to instant coffee. None. Also, this movie is 2 hours and 34 minutes long, and it seemed like a good time to tell you that as we watch him make instant coffee in real time.
Amongst the defenders of the city was its most famous resident, who was
Archimedes.
And Dr. Jones just happens to be teaching about a person that will become a main focus of the rest of the plot, because movie.
You didn't win the war. Hitler lost it.
I'll take Weird Hills to Die On for 400, please.
And I'd become famous.
That's why you study archaeology, to become famous. Listen, lady, you seem fun, but I can tell you that no one outside of archaeologists knows of any famous archaeologists. Your supposed fame would be limited to the people in your field of study, and most of them would hate you for finding it before them, rather than respecting you for finding it.
Indiana Jones, out with a bang, back in the saddle.
Pitch meeting for film becomes the film. As he gives her the half of the dial from the opening flashback scene. I'm gonna just point out that he didn't vet her at all. She has a passing resemblance to the daughter of that Baz guy, but he just believes her that she's Baz's daughter, and a few minutes later is giving her a priceless artifact.
Your father thought this thing could predict fissures in time.
I mean, hey, at least it's not alien, right?
Your father wrote so many letters about the dial, I stopped reading them.
And definitely never mentioned it to anyone. As she locks him in with the pursuers and leaves with the half dial, I'd like to remind you that he should never have trusted her ass in the first place. They killed his secretary. Nobody kills his secretary. Helena just jumped from building top to building top, landed on her goddamn knee, and jumped back up and started running full force again. And I would like you to right off, movie. Oh, give me a fucking break.
You're CIA. Oh, not me, man. I don't take government jobs.
With the exception of the government job you are currently on, is what I think you meant.
How are you acquainted with Miss Shaw?
She's my goddaughter.
Giving honest answers to people that just kidnapped you. So the bad guys kidnap Jones, get turned back at a demonstration blockade, then back into a taxi that was behind them, and then they go, let's go on foot. And I am honestly shocked at this decision. This is a kidnapping. You need to back up and there's a car behind you, go pay that guy to back up. But abandoning the vehicle to take your kidnapping victim out on the street on foot is insanity. Indy will now beat several asses despite his run for president level age. This man will face no consequences for this action.
There's a shooting. This morning.
This morning? There was a fucking shot just fired very close to this officer 2 seconds ago. How the f*** did he not hear that? So it's like technology versus horse. Let's slow this footage down, please, because the pursuing villain will, for no discernible advantage, choose to veer hard to the left here and go around the white convertible instead of just continuing right on the heels of the goddamn horse. Bear jumping. How do you keep the horse from touching the third rail? Because that shit is deadly. And the horse really only responds to left, right, fast, or slower. Not so much, don't put your hoof on this part of the track. He stumbles upon an opening to the right that he uses to avoid being smashed by the oncoming train, and there is no way he knew that this opening was there when he said go, go, go.
This is how guys are treating hair loss in as little as 3 to 6 months.
Like, look at this. He went from this to this in just 3 months.
My boyfriend's dad is completely bald, so we thought he was doomed. Until he met multiple guys who treated their hair loss with this chew through Hims. It's a once-a-day chewable that combines ingredients that help stop hair loss and regrow hair in 3 to 6 months.
He couldn't believe something this simple actually worked.
And now all his friends are asking what he used.
If your hair is thinning or your hairline is receding, get the finasteride and minoxidil chews through Hims. Take the free assessment to get started now.
As a mom of 2 boys, having health insurance is extremely important. I am beyond thankful of having coverage through healthcare.gov. It covers all of our doctor's appointments, including emergency care.
Healthcare.gov. Enroll by January 15th.
anyone ever on time in a movie? Anyone?
Big Rahim owns the Hotel Atlantique in Tangier. And this week, the hotel is hosting its annual auction of stolen antiquities.
That's a weird title for an auction. You're just letting everyone know the shit is stolen. Weird.
Without Helena or the dial, I'm going to get framed for murder.
It really feels like Indy is acting a little too frantic and not thinking about that if he runs, he would be a fugitive. He could actually help the police as a reliable witness. I doubt he'll be gone more than 6 days, 7 nights. Okay, I'm done. Random hearts. Damn it! If Indy is wanted for questioning about the murders that took place at Hunter College, then how is he even able to fly anywhere? Wouldn't notifying the airlines be one of the first courses of action the police would take?
Give him hell, Indiana Jones!
Shouting the name of a murder suspect in public.
Archimedes discovered a temporal meteorology.
Gibberish called, and it would like its native language back, or at least acknowledged.
I give you this. It must be destroyed.
I will.
He will not. Why the f*** were you, up until just before landing in Tangier, flying with this thing visible in your open bag to any passersby? It's been nearly an hour, and this movie is just starting. Holy shit, every major character in this movie is converging right here and now, and there's still an hour and a half left to go. Just like Pirates of the Caribbean, the one with Chow Yun-fat. That means there's a good chance of this film containing either an ocean tornado or a Keith Richards appearance.
It's not yours. You stole it.
Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism.
Capitalism. See, this is the kind of scene I was sort of hoping we wouldn't have in this movie, where we wink really hard at one of the OG films, but we tweak it a bit and assume it equals creativity.
Then he handed me this scimitar and told me to call home with your head.
I feel like an axe would have been a better option if you want to take a head off cleanly, but you do you, Raheem.
I presume you sold the ring?
It didn't go for as much as I thought it would.
Being this much of a smartass with a guy holding a scimitar he already threatened to take your head off with once. No one will be seated while all the gunmen fire with terrible aim at our protagonists in the hall of dangling onions or possibly its garlic. What in the hell caused him to think, I'd better look up, back, and to the left right now?
Go faster!
But they shouldn't need to. They are in an actual f***ing car. How is this car chase this close? Choosing this moment to crank up the main Indiana Jones theme. These bad guys and their machine guns that hit nothing important. It's one of the oldest tropes in the book, and I no longer feel escalated tension from it. I just feel bloat and convenience and the effect of 4 writers on this script.
What are you doing?
Getting what's mine.
It's not yours, though. It belongs in a museum. While the sheer length of the car chase may be impressive, that doesn't mean the scene itself will be enjoyable to viewers. Acting like this f***ing vehicle can make e-brake turns. Indiana Jones and the recycled 40s comedy stylings.
I mean, what even is a Godfather?
A 1972 Best Picture winner, an okay at best pizza franchise, the father of a god. Am I getting close? Ah, yeah, that's right. Hannibal made off with the dial, or half of it at least. Honestly, can't keep up.
We have half the dial now.
Thing I said to my wife after taking a shower last week somehow enters the script.
My name is Follow.
We already knew you were lying about your identity, so this whammy is literally only for the character, who is fictional and does not care one way or the other since she's about to be dead.
The location of the Graphicos?
Nobody knows where the Graphicos is.
Dad did.
Honestly, as a viewer, I thought this Graphicos thing was literally the same as the dial. I thought they were interchangeable. And I'm not stupid or something. The movie just kept mentioning them together and it took hold. Whether electronic or gas, how the f*** does this 3-wheeled golf cart thing still have power?
Pick a card, Dr. Jones.
Card tricks or movie has time for this? Pick one. I choose both.
I don't believe in magic, Wombat.
You f***ing saw aliens rise up out of ancient native ruins, bro, and saved your father's life with holy water from the Holy Grail. You absolutely believe in magic.
What if you could go back in time? What would you do?
Is it Skip? I hope it's Skip. Chekhov's dynamite thanks you for rummaging through this drawer.
They look like snakes.
No, they don't.
Why did it have to be a callback to snakes? Drinking and diving.
I can't swim.
Thinking that diving requires swimming.
Reach and pull. Reach and pull.
My college girlfriend's handjob technique laid bare to the entire world. This diving sequence underwater's on for all of some time. Movie expects me to believe that they could swim through these tight spaces without already getting the lines caught on something, and I do not believe you, movie. I'll be honest. Everything since Indy went underwater has been super blurry visually, and I have no f***ing clue what is happening right now.
I should have retired you when I had the chance.
To be fair, you rightfully thought you had, and that 100% should have been the case. This motherfucker should not be alive.
No!
This punch would break this old man's face into tiny little pieces. That is a human being the size of 2 human beings that just punched him. Indy is dead.
Come on, Indy. Everyone knows this. you and this clown.
Being condescending to the guy who just went into a business arrangement with and had already been paid more than you asked for in the first place. Indy picks up the metal disc 3 seconds after it was exposed by a raging fire burning the wax around it. That should burn the out of his hands. Everything Indy was talking about in his lesson at the beginning of the movie is tied into his present-day adventure. Was this class called Exposition 101?
So he's like running the show now?
I'm still in charge, Teddy.
Pretty sure Archimedes is in charge. How the did they do this? Sure, he saw the boat go west instead of east and maybe figured Sicily, but they are waiting for this kid here, as though they knew he would A, wander away from Indy and Wombat, B, pickpocket some rich kid, C, go buy an ice cream cone with his newfound riches, and D, get distracted by a boat in his peripheral vision long enough to get himself trapped in this hallway. That's a bullshit truck carrying a load of bullshit on its way out of the bullshit factory. Indiana Jones thinks he can outrun a van, stealing a just-married vehicle.
They're not gonna hurt him. They can use him. Get the other half of the dial.
Yeah, but they might hurt him after that, because they wouldn't need him anymore. And they could still torture him to find out the info he has, so not feeling great about Teddy's future at this moment. Movie absolutely yada yadas these two sneaking away from guests and rangers at a national park type place to go investigate a cave. Baba Diba-ing your way into finding treasure.
You haven't been forced to drink the blood of Kali.
No, fair enough.
Or been tortured with voodoo.
Putting on the hits. How the did these fools get off the boat in the middle of the Aegean Sea that had dynamite detonated in its lower chamber?
Nobody memorizes every page of their dead father's notebooks. Or the money.
Assuming you know how someone deals with their own grief.
They went that way.
This guy is a better tracker than a bloodhound. Centipedes and spiders. Didn't they do bugs in Temple of Doom? Why did it have to be centipedes and spiders? Why did it have to be anything? Can we go one goddamn Indiana Jones film without a creepy crawly scene?
Archimedes is fascinated by water displacement.
Being fascinated by water displacement. Most people aren't aware that Archimedes created the world's first slip and slide.
Don't need to do that.
You really don't, and I don't understand why anyone would ever handcuff themselves to someone else. Maybe it limits the prisoner's ability to escape, but it also limits your abilities because now you can only use one arm. How is that helpful to anyone? You're shack-sized henchman and a kid that knows the way, and you're just leave them. Why did you bring them down here in the first place if they were that expendable? I appreciate that the light is coming through tiny cracks, and Archimedes set this up so the light would hit the mirrors and leave a path, but that was ages ago. Earth's crust and plates and that all moves. Cracks letting in light wouldn't be guaranteed to be in the same place even 50 years later, let alone a couple thousand. Indy just pulls out the dial piece as though he's never experienced booby traps before.
Of course it works, Miss Shaw. Mathematics works.
I mean, just because math works doesn't mean that time travel works. And I don't care after the Ark of the Covenant melting Nazi faces and Indy surviving his heart being pulled out of his chest that one of these movies would involve time travel. But don't yada yada over how it works. That's part of the fun of time travel movies. Oh, he's doing this right now. He's putting the pieces together in an attempt to travel through time, and he's doing it right now. In front of his foes and way underground in a cave? This is a movie decision, because a real-life evil guy would have the sense to bring that shit back up to the surface before f***ing with it. Kid jumps and a whole bunch of indiscernible shit happens. I don't like it.
Now we gotta go help people customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Wait, but where's the golf cart? There it is. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You've got ideas, a new project, a renovation that's been waiting. Bauer gives you the power to build, fix, and upgrade at prices that deliver more for your dollar. Bauer, heavy duty guaranteed.
Off with your maybe Dr. Jones will die bullshit. We know he's not gonna die. Every goddamn one of us watching this movie knows he's not gonna die. So stop playing these f***ing games with us. It's not necessary and it's not welcome.
What kind of Nazi kills the Fuhrer?
It's interesting to have the age-old question of, if you could go back in time, would you kill Hitler, attempted in a movie? And then it's also interesting to change that around to where a Nazi is the one that's going to kill Hitler. It's still really stupid, but definitely interesting.
Hey, think you can fly one of those?
Why the f*** would he? He's a kid. He picks pockets with you. He's a great thief in the right places, but what the hell makes you think he can just suddenly fly airplanes?
Ignored? Sure. It's not a ringing response.
Well, I haven't flown a Nord.
You've never flown any plane.
Then why the f*** did you ask him if he could fly that one? Why are they keeping him alive again? They have both pieces of the dial. You don't need him anymore, even though I'll admit the movie certainly does. For someone who has never flown a plane, I find it a little bullshitty that he could hotwire a plane.
Archimedes didn't know about continental drift.
Getting your calculations over because of continental drift, Indy again survives a pretty massive punch to the face. How is this guy just now waking up to figure this out? It's not like Teddy has been quiet this whole time.
Those are Roman triremes.
Knowing your Roman triremes so well, you can spot them from this distance.
Keep it in the air!
Unfollowable orders.
Sorry, pal, but you're Nazi!
Sorry, pal, but I actually don't have anything. I just hated that dialogue. How are they just now losing altitude? This poor fucking guy who has not spent the last few days with knowledge in his head that it's very possible time travel is real, and then to wake up in a different millennium? Very concerned about this random character's mental well-being after all this. You know, taking a watch off a dead body is still stealing, yeah?
We're witnessing history.
I mean, technically we're witnessing history every day. Maybe not battles that ended in thousands of lives lost and cities ruined, but for instance, those 6 cheese crystals I scarfed down yesterday happened, and that is history my stomach witnessed. Believing that history and future history are unchangeable. Wait. What? Bookending Indy's present-day portion of the film with dirty laundry. Don Henley would be so proud. Marion is back, and she brought home groceries. And I'm not sure how much I trust these writers to deliver a Marion that does more than bring home groceries.
Are you back, Indy?
God damn it, he has been back this whole fucking movie.
You can never have too much ice cream, can you?
You absolutely can. I'm glad Indy is back together with Marion. After all, their relationship is really the through line for all the Indy movies. Sorry, I couldn't get through that. This moved me not. They washed the goddamn hat?
Got on board. You look bored.
I am bored. Oh, who am I kidding? The boathouse was the time.
Hear that, boys? If we don't knock out that airfield, they'll go after Enterprise.
Prepare to make the jump to light speed.
Wiped clean by the wrath of God.
Erase from existence.
Maybe we should travel by map.
Soon they will come to arm you, and I will not be able to stop them.
Tommy, how's the peeping? Tommy, how's the peeping?
I'm putting in a chase sequence. So the killer flees on horseback with the girl, the cops after them on a motorcycle, and it's like a battle between motors and horses, like technology versus horse.
How does he reach the pedals?
Your persistence surprises even me.
You're gonna give mercenaries a bad name.
I swallowed a bug.
The world watched in amazement as he unlocked the mysteries of Al Capone's glove compartment.
Aha! Road maps!
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
I feel terrible.
What's that?
Antidote. To what? The poison you just drank.
We are laughing.
Sorry, thought you're making a move. Monkey's brains, though popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not often to be found in Washington, D.C.
Oh my god.
Oh my God!
But I corrected them, sir. And when my wife tried to prevent me from doing my duty, I corrected her.
We use a large vibrating egg.
You will, Dr. Jones. You will be.
I feel terrible.
It's not that kind of duty.
So the killer flees on horseback with the girl, the cops after them on a motorcycle, and it's like a battle between motors and horses, like technology versus horse.
Left Budapest early this morning. The impression I had was that we were leaving the west and entering the east.
Do you intend to leave us standing on the doorstep all day with drains? There'll be whales here. Oh, drop the thing! Drop the thing!
Can't you remember?
I found a cure for the plague of the 20th century, and now I've lost it.
Here's how you get him. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the mall. That's the Chicago.
Now they have the map. And in this sort of race,
Winners go home and the prom queen.
I have to go now as someone is staring at me through binoculars.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became Movie Central, we made sure you'd have strong Wi-Fi, even down here. And you can rest easy knowing the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. See? He's looking out for you, and so are we, with advanced security that blocks threats on your network. Good boy. Whatever the future brings, Cox will keep you a step ahead. Oh.
Meet Flower. She's the leader of a 29-strong family of meerkats.
You're suggesting that I killed my wife? You saying that I crushed her skull and that I shot her?
when I came home, there was a man in my house. I fought with this man. And you find this man. You find this man.
I passed the test. And we were threatened with treason if we ever talked about it. So you tell me, what was in the box?
What's in the f***ing box?
You want a player who doesn't have the guts to fight back?
No, I want a player who's got the guts not to fight back.
They're thieves. They're filthy little thieves.
What happened? Where'd it go? I did a Peter Pan right here off of this dam, right here.
Please raise your hands if you would trade 5 years of your life for the so-called perfect body.
We happy?
Yeah, we happy.
I am not a recording, Fräulein.
This way, come on!
I can't do that! All I want is to fight on the top of a train! Is that too much to ask?
I assigned pages 131 through 171 in Winford for today. Anybody do the reading?
Anyone? Anyone? The Great Depression. Past the... Anyone? Anyone?
How are you acquainted with Miss Shaw?
I didn't kill my wife! I don't care! Give him hell, Indiana Jones! I'm walking here! I'm walking here!
Now you believe the dial has magical powers?
It's all true.
This instead of Terry, look out, or Terry behind you, or Terry, I've always hated you, see you in hell, Dick.
Songs for the resurrection.
No thanks. I saw that Halloween movie back in 2002, and I'm in no mood for songs about it. People reading Hustler or really any magazine in 2022.
Can I help you?
You had Diana Prince, aka Darcy, the mail girl, and we don't get to see her till an hour and 23 minutes into the movie? For shame, Halloween ends. For shame. I'm glad the movie finally got to all the killing, but I'm now beginning to wonder where Corey got all the strength all of a sudden. Are they really saying a mask stolen out of a hardware store in 1978 has mystical strength properties? Is this the point where the movie is saying the podcaster was f***ing right? Allison has Lori stored in her phone by her name rather than Grandma.
Did you really think I'd kill myself?
Well, no, not really. But I'm not sure why you went through the trouble of making it look like you killed yourself unless it was just for the audience to go, oh no! It does virtually nothing for the situation. I don't know how the element of surprise helps you here, especially when you waste the initial shock on a one-liner. This f***ing muffler that shouldn't even be rattling anymore since Allison brought it to the shop to get it fixed is still f***ing rattling and becoming Halloween End's own personal Wilhelm scream. I feel like this would actually be pretty easy for Lori to explain, especially with the way Corey is dressed and the Michael Myers mask being at the scene. Not to mention that Allison will soon find out about the other murders that Corey committed. It's not really the gotcha moment that the movie seems to think it is. I guess Lori didn't die a hero and live long enough to be the villain. You! It's wild to me that whenever a door is left open, Lori always assumes it's Michael Myers, and she's almost always right. Does he seriously not know how to shut a door so his presence isn't automatically known? God damn it! Michael's just been hiding out this whole time? How? And huh? And how? What I think I find irritating about this final battle of the trilogy is the fact that it being Halloween is so arbitrary to the preceding hour and 32 minutes. It's like those random mentions of it actually being Friday the 13th in a Friday the 13th film. At this point, who the cares?
Allison, where's Lori? We're responding to a call. She called in a suicide.
And Lori told you the exact address and everything. Why the are you calling Allison to ask where Lori is? And how are the police not already at Lori's house? How big could Haddonfield possibly be? If a 5-alarm blaze in my kill basement didn't work in the first movie, that must mean that a fire extinguisher will work. Lori's attempt to go full irreversible on Michael Myers doesn't work, but I really don't know what the plan was here. She very calmly and confidently walked into the kitchen, started cooking a microwave dinner, and went into a closet actually thinking a fire extinguisher was going to get her out of this. Whenever Michael or Corey step on someone's face or neck, they crush it immediately. What makes Lori's neck that much stronger than the rest of Haddonfield? Is she doing neck exercises every morning in case this happens? When you think the well is run dry on callbacks, the movie gods bless us with a sewing needle. Or I think that's how the expression goes. Either way, it's bullshit. So it looks like they need to start calling Michael Myers Michael Myers. See what this movie's done to me. I love how the final battle between Lori and Michael is not much more exciting than a throwaway WWE Tuesday night fight. Also, movie goes full Halloween H2O on the Lori versus Michael battle at the end. I'm halfway surprised she doesn't drive him to the side of the road and hit him with a shovel.
Do it.
Do it! Do what? Go back and do a Rocky IV style montage of past Halloween hits? How the did Allison get here before the cops did? Where the hell's Frank? He's at home washing his tights.
This is not how it works.
It is tonight.
This motherfucker has no goddamn clue what has happened up to this point, but he is on board immediately. I'm not saying Michael Myers doesn't deserve all this and more, but could you maybe ask a few questions before the town industrial grinding is approved?
Granger knows that as an HVAC technician, the heat is on you every day. Your first call? An office building with a noisy AC unit. Time to put your experience to work. On site, your meters don't lie. The blower motor's failing. But Granger's easy-to-search website quickly helps you find what you need to keep the office and their HVAC running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Traffic. This place is an active crime scene from earlier in the night, but sure, let's also make it where hundreds of people stomp all over it to watch the death of Michael Myers. Like, can't find some other crushing machine around town. Besides, the mask is the power, not the man. I think. I honestly don't know anymore. Also, did they just pass all the dead bodies at the front of the dump from earlier tonight? Were they just like, yeah, those bodies probably need attention, but let's make sure we take care of throwing a corpse in an industrial grinder first. It's amazing how you keep thinking you've seen the most ludicrous thing in this movie, and then the Michael Myers crowd surfing scene comes right in the last couple of minutes and asks you to hold its butcher knife.
What an incredible story of survival through decades of disturbances in our local community.
Once again, people talk about Michael Myers' decades of disturbance, but this is simply not the case in this particular series of films. Michael had a 40-year period where he was in an institution. He wasn't doing a Halloween 2 through Halloween Resurrection amount of killing or disturbances.
I've said goodbye to my boogeyman, but the truth is evil doesn't die.
Man, Lori took just enough time to write this self-help memoir for Michael to die, become a national sensation again, and tremendously boost the sales of a book that had basically no chance to sell much before all this happened.
Enjoy.
Gifting vegetables.
What was it you were saying about those cherry blossoms?
Was it Skip? I think it was Skip. I hope it was Skip. I just liked Halloween Ends so much I'm starting to like Halloween Kills, and I don't even know how to begin forgiving you for that, Halloween Ends.
Why won't you die?
I told everybody! Nobody listened.
We didn't listen! We didn't listen!
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the... Anyone? The Great Depression.
He got hungry. Man wouldn't do that.
'Tis no man. 'Tis a remorseless eating machine.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and
Lifeless eyes. Black eyes like a doll's eyes.
Tommy! How's the peeping?
Tommy, how's the peeping?
You're serious about it, aren't you?
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Chip, I'm gonna come at you like a spider monkey.
Costain wrote that fate was somehow related only to religion, whereas Samuel...
You locked yourself in.
Oh, and you're a regular Rhodes Scholar. Where was it you graduated from again? The University of...
Oh, I am scared.
I shot him 6 times! He's alive!
Here, just put it up there real gently.
Mr. Garrett, how do you work this thing?
Janet!
I've one thing to say, and that's damn it, Janet.
Everybody goes back out.
We just close it up.
I want to sweep from Chestnut south to the bypass.
What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, or doghouse. Putting you down and keeping you down until Gans is locked up or dead.
Haddonfield's a pretty quiet town before tonight.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
I can't find anybody. Bud's gone. Mrs. Alves is gone. I think we gotta use Death Blossom.
No! Kelly Clarkson!
How's it hanging, Phil?
But on my way, I'm gonna be doing this. If you get hit, it's your own fault.
There is no dragon. Fire cannot kill a dragon.
Windows 98!
So just call me. Call and call. If you feel like you've called too many times, call once more. Don't take drugs! Wait for the police.
These officials, God bless them. They remind me of my days when I had to run from the police.
È molto pericoloso, signorina.
Speak it, speak it! I'm not who you think I am.
What do you think I am? Human?
Hey, Ted, where the hell's Corkscrew?
Hello! If I can change, and you can change.
Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away from here.
These eyes do not see what you and I see. Behind these eyes, one finds only blackness.
You needn't take it any further, sir. You proved to me that all this ultra-violence and killing is wrong and terribly wrong.
The fingers you have used to dial are too fat. To obtain a special dialing wand, please smash the keypad with your palm now.
Say something, Michael. Say it. Say it like my hat.
Here's Johnny.
Back in your houses now. A plague! I've burnt your houses!
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night! Hawkins and I'll track Market Street up to Lampkin. I'm going to Lampkin!
You are the ones who are the ball lickers.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Don't you know whose house this was? You have any idea who you're stealing from? You and your friends are dead!
This knife.
Knife?
That's a knife.
We're not that drunk! We're not that drunk! You're not that drunk!
I know you're scared. They're scared too.
I see dead people. Can we make jack-o'-lanterns?
When you're a little kid, you're a little bit of everything.
What do you think?
This is like... It's the ugliest f***ing car I ever seen in my life.
It looks great on you.
Sure it does, but I'm not going.
Carpe diem, okay? You looked hot in it.
Every pregnancy is different. Every pregnancy is unique, right? Your vagina is not the same as room 207.
This guy f***ed up the LeBaron.
Yeah.
Dollar store designer friend? You look so f***ing hot at the office.
You had me at hello.
You had me at hello. They say if you lie between two of the main wires, your body just evaporates. You become a gas.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night!
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Old-timey Fox logo and music does not prepare you for one of the best sci-fi horror movies of all time. Still, though, one of the best sci-fi horror movies of all time, so... reading. Also, its cargo is a refinery processing 20 million tons of mineral ore. I guess they invented the perpetual motion machine between 1979 and whatever year this is. Also, I don't know shit about space, but this is one of the least aerodynamic-looking ships I've ever seen. It's like 4 interconnected weebles. Doesn't exactly scream streamlined. Spaceship half designed by Mr. Coffee. And this spaceship door is brought to you by Purina. Who's this door opening for? The cameraman? I have it on good authority that one of these crew members was dreaming of electric sheep. Also, given what we know about Ian Holmes' character later, how was he put under like a regular human, given that he is not one? Man, the Wayland Corporation goes to prestige levels of commitment to the illusion. Turning the lights on full bright before the sleeping even have a goddamn second to wake up and... Also, aren't those Lilu nipple strips of fabric? That's the best way the future space programs can think of to cover female breasts in cryosleep. And 1-inch strip of cloth. You can put full diapers on the men's crotches, but lady nipples, don't waste any fabric. Here's a space cat. No explanation, just a space cat. Did he have a cat-sized cryosleep chamber? No clue. He's just here, right now, on the dinner table. Deal with it. Futuristic computers allow for super colloquial input queries. Underside of the ship decorated courtesy of one Clark Griswold. Wouldn't you think far future spaceships would be better equipped for landing on strange planets than this movie suggests? One rock f***s everything up.
We can't fix it out here anyway, and we need to reroute a couple of these ducts when we say over.
Look, we couldn't fix it out here anyway. We gotta reroute all these ducts and...
Why is Parker repeating the exact thing he just said 5 seconds ago?
If they find what they're looking for out there, that mean we get full shares?
Something tells me this guy isn't happy with his shares. I don't know what gives me that impression, other than that's been his entire dialogue for the whole movie. Computer monitors often simply just show ones and zeros to its users. Who even approved of bringing a goddamn kitty cat to space? You, staticky monitor, are you in cahoots with this movie's suspense or something? This ship's hallway looks like ribs. I should keep going. This is some iconic and amazing visual brilliance. Let's hope no one ever tries to explain it with a backstory movie. Oh, there's a giant alien skeleton. It should be evident by now they responded to a super old, outdated distress call. Yet investigative bullshit still goes on for a while, leading to the contamination of the ship.
Let's get the hell out of here.
30 minutes into this nightmare before someone says something sensible.
That transmission. Mother's deciphered part of it. It doesn't look like an SOS. It looks like a warning.
You mean they decided to land on the planet, walk outside, and investigate before their awesome computer deciphered some of the message? What, I know they're bound by some stupid space rules to check out signals like this, but couldn't they have waited? I mean, after finding a giant skeleton, how much more effort would you really put into investigating this obviously dead place? The distress signal is obviously old. Move along. Don't go spelunking, for Christ's sake.
Leathery objects, like eggs or something.
Or something. Here's an alien egg sack thing. I'm gonna touch it. While he does react to this thing opening, his reaction isn't a full-speed run in the opposite direction with a girlish scream of terror, which earns him a sin. So we are introduced to the facehugger, which is a scary little bastard. But one question, do these eggs live forever until a host just happens to walk by? How long have these eggs been here for this to be possible?
Wait a minute. If we let it in, the ship could be infected.
Ripley, this is an order. Open that hatch right now.
I'm gonna say bringing the guy with the helmet alien back on the ship was a bad idea. Bad science, bad logic, and obviously it led to several more movies of agony that could have been avoided. And Dallas is the captain, and he's out here, and he makes the least captainy decision any starship captain ever captained. If any asshole can simply open the door from the outside, then why did it appear that Ripley was the only person who could open it? Seems like you'd have protocols in place to avoid like this. These dicks apparently show no fear when it comes to face-hugging aliens. They have no idea what this is, but they observe it with the calm of an ENT checking out little Timmy's sore throat.
What the hell is that?
A question better served answered while this dude was outside the ship, no? I love the fact that this alien has such an incredible defense mechanism, but how are they able to cut this f***er's skin if it has the power to hold acid blood? These faces see the facehugger is not on Kane's face anymore and just leave the f***ing door open. Even Ripley, who's been the most sensible person on the ship thus far, decides, f*** it, this door to the entire ship can just stay open. We need the light from outside, because there's clearly no lights in here for some reason. This guy falls from some sort of compartment in the ceiling. Apparently just dies right after that. Way to be a jump scare dick in death, dude. Is it just me, or is this thing extremely vaginal looking? H.R. Giger was a mad genius, and simple as hell. Hey, we think this thing we're 100% unfamiliar with is dead, even though it's face-hugged our friend and bled acid. Let's cut it open and tinker with it. By the way, no need for surgical masks, guys. I mean, it's a dead alien, so what's the worst that could happen? Also, let's get right to the alien autopsy before checking Kane's status, shall we?
Dallas, I think you should come and see Kane.
You should come take a look at this cliche.
Has his condition changed?
It's simpler if you just come and see him.
Bald-faced lie. If you can't explain his condition in less time than it takes Dallas to get down there, then you're broken and in need of serious repair, even though no one knows you're an android yet.
Terrific. Next silly question.
Oh, he's awake and doing fine, eh? You're right. There's no way to communicate that over a radio. Dallas did indeed 100% absolutely need to see this to get the point. So Kane is all better now. I guess we won't perform any x-rays or tests or anything. Alien species have no purpose other than being assholes, so everything should be a-okay. Even if Ash knows about the alien and isn't telling anybody, it's amazing Ripley hasn't demanded to see proof of his health already. This is iconic as shit. And even better, the cast didn't know what was going to happen either. Me, this is great.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC-branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
Anybody want to say anything?
Oh, gee, yeah, I'll say something. Here lies the body of a guy that could have been left to die an hour ago on an alien planet, and probably should have been. But because we didn't let that happen, now all of us are at risk. Rest in peace, guy who stupidly touched an alien egg sac like a dill hole. It's gonna be the cat. It's gonna be the cat. It's gonna be the... What did I tell you? Also, Trevor! But also, how the f*** did the cat even get in here?
All right, you get him, we'll go on.
But be sure to find the cat by yourself, because we have lots of not dying to do. I love how they basically sent the creepiest asshole on this ship to go find the cat, as opposed to Ripley, who has already demonstrated a bond with the feline. Whatever. We need to kill someone, and Ripley is the hero, so it is what it is. Holy shit. Honestly, the most sinful thing in this whole movie is how fast this thing goes from chestburster tiny dude to this mega alien in size in like a few hours. That's some of the most rapid growth in the history of possibilities. Alien species evolved to make humans think of sex organs just before getting killed. Mondays, am I right?
Whatever it was big.
Wait, you saw the alien? Where was that scene? I thought you and Ripley were just hanging back with your alien detecting device, letting Brett die.
It's big.
Kane's son. Well, Kane died, and this thing popped out of him, yes, but I don't think anyone benefits from language suggesting they're blood relatives. What are you, an android? And now the Nostromo, its balls heavy with the potential ejaculate of victory over an alien species, flies its forward silhouette towards Earth, desperately hoping... I can't keep this up, I'm sorry. I don't even like this accent I'm doing. Can we just cut? Dallas asks Mother a lot of vague questions, expecting answers. You might as well just type the question why into the computer. Thankfully for us, the viewer, Dallas keeps his lantern pointed at his face instead of out in front of him, and we get some glorious facial expressions. Though I have no idea how he sees where he's going, but whatever. I know this air pressure displacement detector thing dropped the alien signal a minute ago, but how does it accurately tell where Dallas is and completely inaccurately tell where the alien is? The alien is currently below Dallas, where it somehow solved how to make air displace in the floor directly above it. Okay, so the crew is expendable and the company wants the alien at all costs. So why was the information that was only for the science officer made available, even if Ripley performed an emergency override? Even in a situation like this, the science officer is the only person who needs to know this bit of information ever. Maybe this android motherfucker moved silently. Maybe. But the door would still have to have opened for him to get in here. And she would definitely have heard that. So, you movie. When an android finally reveals its evil nature, the dramatic weight causes white fluid to escape from its head. I could just crush her skull, but I will pick the rolled up magazine for suffocation purposes technique. The android medical officer is able to fight off 3 able-bodied humans for a brief time, which seems excessive. The obvious makeup head transitions to an actual human head between cuts. Even though it came out 5 years before The Terminator, it's way better than that movie managed. But it's still an unusual transition. So now we're at the revealing stage of this movie's plot, and I'm just wondering, if the company wants an alien at all costs, why not send qualified personnel out on these missions? Why send a ship that's hauling an oil refinery? Why not put several androids on this ship? Okay, so maybe the movie is saying this ship just happened to find the signal the company was looking for, and in the event of an alien sighting, go get the alien. But that doesn't explain why they make their crews so ill-prepared to handle one should they run into it. The chances of them bringing back a viable organism are super low in this situation. Android turns into Ronald Reagan after a punching.
Jones?
Is she going back for the cat? Seriously? No one loves cats more than me, and this is some stupid-ass sentimental bullshit right here.
Jones?
Yep, she's seriously way far away from her post right now, chasing down a possible cat. I mean, how fired are all these people? And how does this bastard cat manage to make it through all these areas of the ship with the doors closed? And I'm pretty sure this asshole's walking up and down ladders, too. Not only does he want to kill them, but he seems to want to kill this one anally. Why would you run full speed toward the screaming and alien carnage, rather than cutting off the bridge you were safely on from all access points? Movie drama? I'm gonna go with movie drama. I'm having a hard time figuring out what a pranic lift is, or what a particle beam abhort is, or what a Padme is outside the realm of the Star Wars prequels, in a year when The Empire Strikes Back wasn't even a thing yet. So this panel is total bullshit is what I'm saying. Decades before she'd helped set off a self-destruct weapon for comedy's sake in Galaxy Quest, Sigourney Weaver was setting off self-destruct weapons in movies for the purpose of story. Either pushing these futuristic handles actually speeds up their descent, or else the movie is relying on some pretty cliche means of conveying how desperate its main character is. The cat survived the alien, which is weird because 4 seasons of Alf told me that was their favorite food. Oh, so the cat goes in the hibernation chamber too. It's amazing they have the technology to correctly slow down the metabolism of both humans and cats in the same chamber at the same time, which is how it supposedly went down at the beginning of the movie. Yes, there's still an alien fight left, but it absolutely must wait until she's in her underwear. Duh. Also, guys, there's no such thing as subtle exploitation. How the hell did this thing get on board? And if so, why didn't it kill Ripley before she took off? Or is this movie saying the alien crawled through a duct of some sort while she flew away from the main ship? This has always puzzled me when it comes to the before and after. If before, she should be dead. If after, I don't see how the alien got inside. It's Alien 22. That engine burst really totally killed that alien, but also put you on a direct course for the restaurant at the end of the universe. So, wow, Ripley's ship has been out in space for 57 years, but it looks like she's aged 7 years. Well, nobody said hypersleep was perfect. What gave these guys any indication that the air in here is breathable? Certainly nothing since they walked in here, and if so, why wear the masks at all?
Jonesy, come here.
Listen, I'm glad the cat ends up being okay. Having said that, shouldn't the hypersleep settings be completely different for different species? Did the cat not age either?
How long was I out there?
Has no one discussed this with you yet?
Dream's position.
You had drifted right through the core systems, and it's really just blind luck that a deep salvage team found you when they did.
How the f*** did she drift through the core systems without anyone knowing? In the previous movie, Ripley thought she'd be picked up within 6 weeks or so, but she then scooted through those core systems like Sue f***ing Storm.
It's 1 in 1,000, really.
Actually, it's a ton more than 1 in 1,000. The odds are astronomical that Ripley's ship was found. Space is like really, really big. I mean, you may think it's a long way to the chemist, but that's just peanuts to space. Listen, and so on. Movie takes the awesome scene from the first one and turns it into a silly gotcha dream sequence. But I guess all that exposition about her being asleep for 57 years and stand-up comedian Paul Reiser being in this movie still holds, despite the last part being a dream. Sneaky. You get to have a scary moment, pretend to kill your main star, and give the audience useful information. Where did the company get file photos like this? Wouldn't you have something more official than what looks like stills from the first movie?
I don't understand this. We have been here for 3.5 hours. Now, how many different ways do you want me to tell the same story?
This is likely what the writers of the next 14 Transformers movies said to Michael Bay when they were locked in the Bastille under his mansion.
Why don't you just check out LV-426?
Because I don't have to. There have been people there for over 20 years, and they never complained about any hostile organism.
And I neglected to tell you this extremely important detail until you confronted me after the meeting. Wow, future business cards are ridiculously inefficient. Why is it easier to give people a plastic card that contacts you directly than a paper card that has your number?
You're going out there to destroy them. Right.
Ripley, who has first-hand knowledge of the ways of the Whaling Corporation, trusts someone from the Whaling Corporation when he says they're not going out there to bring the alien back. Also, I don't quite understand the motivations of the company here. Sure, we need a reason for Ripley to be in this movie, but if they're taking her along, then it means they now believe her story about the alien, of which she already gave them all the information they need, so why bring her along?
And you little shit, you're staying here.
Who's gonna take care of him? Is she the wheelchair dog owner from Secret Life of Pets? Wait, why is Bishop on the manifest? Androids shouldn't need hypersleep, right? Really makes you wonder why none of these guys have an epic case of morning wood.
What do you want me to do, fetch his slippers for you?
Gee, would you, sir? I'd like that.
Look into my eye.
The f*** is that supposed to mean?
Mira, who's Snow White? She's supposed to be some kind of consultant.
I guess when you're all in your undies waiting to go to hypersleep, nobody asks questions about the new crew member. It's the first rule of orgies and space missions to kill aliens.
Hey, Vasquez. Have you ever been mistaken for a man?
Or how about mistaken for being white? That's Jeanette Goldstein, right? Well, I guess we can forgive aliens for not putting an actual Hispanic actor in this role, since there were none available in 1986. Right, Maria Conchita Alonso? Yeah, but Bishop missed. He f***ing missed. Sure, he may not have expected Hudson's hand to be under his, but the whole point of this knife razzmatazz is that he can go super fast and not miss. Bishop may be a great upgrade in android technology, but he sucks at parlor tricks.
We always have a synthetic on board.
I prefer the term artificial person myself.
Androidical correctness. Also, does it matter what Bishop prefers? How far has AI progressed into sentiency? And if it's at the point where androids have preferences, would they still be taking orders from humans? I think not.
I'm shocked. Was it an older model?
Yeah, the Hyperdyne system's 128 too.
Well, Hyperdyne? Is that the offshoot of Cyberdyne? Are we mixing our Terminator Alien franchises? Is this after Skynet was officially defeated, or is this a parallel universe? Goddamn Terminators always covering up their goddamn tracks.
Well, that explains it, and the U2s always were a bit twitchy.
Yeah, but Ash was specifically ordered to get the specimen back to the base, so there was nothing wrong with its behavior or programming. There was something wrong with the asshole who told it to force a fucking magazine down Ripley's throat.
I'm sorry we didn't have time to brief you people before we left Gateway.
I'll buy they didn't have time to brief the Marines before they left, but they had plenty of time between Gateway and now. Why not shorten the hypersleep cycle by at least an hour on the front end and brief them then? It's not like it would dissuade anyone from the mission. They're already on board.
I only need to know one thing. Where they are.
This is the James Cameronization of the Alien franchise, to bring in a bunch of grunts and action this movie up. But the ulterior motive of the mission is to bring some back. So why'd they hire the killingest bunch of motherfuckers they could find?
Somebody said alien. She thought they said illegal alien and signed up.
That's racist. Although it is kind of funny that this is a true story that made it into the script, because Jeanette Goldstein actually thought the movie was going to be about illegal aliens when she auditioned. I'm not quite sure how that translates into her playing a different race, but hey, a joke's a joke, yo.
How do I get out of this chicken outfit?
The producers of this movie took one look at weird science and said, hey, Bill, for this movie, don't change a thing.
Assholes and elbows. Hudson, come here.
Come here.
Creativity is not something I wait for. I am Antoni Sendra, a filmmaker. I'm always hunting and hustling for ideas. Adobe Creative Cloud is designed to be almost like a playground. They provide you with some really inspiring tools for you to start. It allows me to disappear in the creative process. It's about the making. Adobe Creative Cloud gets me into the zone.
Holy transition. Ship is moving through space. Passage of time. I'm taking a sin off of these f***ing mech suits, man. These things are a million times better looking than what we see in the third Matrix movie, and that was 17 years later.
Where you want it?
Bay 12, please.
These dudes seem incredibly impressed that Ripley can manipulate the mech loader, but this is well into the future. Isn't this like being able to operate a modern-day forklift?
All right, I want combat seating. You know your places.
Combat seating? Is that a thing? Does that mean there's a totally different non-combat seating? Or a casual Friday seating I wasn't aware of? Every time I watch this movie, I'm perplexed as to why these heavily armed Marines let these two unarmed civilians tag along. Okay, Ripley has experience and a paramilitary background, but Burke? That little chicken is an executive. That's like taking Elon Musk to the center of a f***ing firefight.
Ready to get it on.
There's no doubt during the soldiers grabbed their weapons and board the spaceship scene that they had to stop filming for several days due to James Cameron's tech boners, which are known to last hours and even years. Damn, couldn't they clean the windshield off a little for United Airlines?
Drake, check your camera. There seems to be a malfunction.
Hitting or punching the thing makes the thing work cliche. I'm sure the colonists built a bar out of necessity here, but where the f*** did they get the neon? And is that even necessary? There are only 60 families here max. I bet they probably all know where the alcohol is served.
All right, Hicks, Hudson, use your motion trackers.
There was no need for you to do that before now, because as we all know, aliens don't attack when you first walk into a building. Alien that looks like a vagina is automatically more sex education than any Tennessee high school is willing to teach. Everyone else's armor-mounted light is pointing forward, but Drake's is pointing right at his chin, so that any enemy will have a great view of its target.
It's coming straight forward.
Then why is everyone advancing toward it? Newt, a smart little girl who survived the alien attack, decides to be a jump-scared dick in front of these trigger-happy faces. Wait, Rebecca Newt was born in Hadley's Hope and grew up here. This is a terraforming and mining base with very few children, but they not only had a functional elementary school, they had time to give out awards for citizenship. Also, if the crew was put into hypersleep to fly out to this colony planet, how much time has actually passed? If second grade represents the good old days for Newt, then this must be a period of like months, tops. So shouldn't she be way older if the trip was so long as to require hypersleep?
Come on, we're wasting our time.
Yeah, there's no reason to continue to try to get information from what looks like the sole survivor of a xenomorph attack, right?
Personal data transmitters. Every colonist had one surgically implanted.
They're within 20 clicks. We'll read it out here.
Once again, something that would have been useful to do immediately after they landed.
Newt, look at me. Where are they?
There's no doubt that Newt knows of the fantastic beasts and where to find them.
They're dead. All right, can I go now?
You know, for someone who's lost their entire friends and family and has eaten nothing but beets for months, Newt's a real
So, she's talking about a thermonuclear explosion and adios muchachos.
Jeez, is Paul Reiser stealing Hispanic acting jobs too?
Sir,
Just do it, Sergeant. And no grenades.
It would literally take less than 30 seconds for Gorman to tell them why they couldn't shoot the creatures. But hey, who needs open communication when you can use flamethrowers? This is exactly why you tell your soldiers why they can't fire down here. This one asshole they decided to check just happened to have an alien ready to burst out of her chest. They passed like 20 other people on the way here, right? Also, how long have these assholes been down here? Everything else is long gone, but this one colonist was alive until exactly this point. Maybe she's a late bloomer.
Pull your team out, Gorman.
Seriously, if no one was going to listen to Ripley, then what was the point of her being here? I guess all that stuff about the thermonuclear reactor blowing up and everything was just a bunch of bullshit, because there's no way they didn't hit something vital during this scene. Apparently metal tires make the same sound on an alien planet as rubber tires on Earth. Bastard alien somehow slipped by everyone and stowed away on the mostly abandoned ship, and motion sensors didn't detect it for some reason. I thought all the aliens were down in the hive, but even if there was another one lurking around, the motion sensors didn't detect it. And the pilot didn't either.
Spunkmeyer. Well, where the fuck?
The most significant moment in xenomorph evolution was when they learned to quietly open cockpit doors. You see, even the grunts and f***ing aliens didn't attend the Prometheus school of running away from things.
Be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
But it's pitch black right now, so they're pretty much screwed either way.
How long after we're declared overdue can we expect a rescue?
17 days.
From where? The same base Ripley and the crew left? If so, why the hell did they go into hypersleep for 17 days? It's just a little longer than a regular moon mission from the 20th century. Also, if the crew had left at least one person up in the orbiter, as common sense suggests, they'd be rescued in 5 minutes or less, and we'd have 70% less danger in this movie.
Jen, I can find you anywhere in the complex.
First off, they just sealed off the f***ing doors to be barricaded in a small place, so why wait until now to give this to Ripley? Second off, everyone should be wearing these locators at all times, right? Especially the non-military Ripley and Burt, who would be more apt to get lost. Geez, for a compound that was recently overtaken by an alien race, this base has some clean-ass linen.
Nope. Nothing bad in there.
Ripley. She doesn't have bedrooms because she's just a piece of plastic.
Newt would be amazing at CinemaSins.
And you see that camera right up there? I can see you right through that camera all the time to see if you're safe.
I'll be looking at it at all times, and if I see one hint of an alien, I'm fast enough to run in here and kill it before it gets to you.
I want these specimens destroyed.
Mr. Burke gave instructions that they were to be kept alive in stasis for return to the company labs.
Burt gave Bishop the keep the specimens alive order, but he neglected to also give him the don't tell everyone what I'm doing because that'll freak everyone out and they may want to kill me order. Hour 1 of Newt Watch went by without Ripley looking at a security screen once.
You'll take care of it, won't you?
If it comes to that, I'll do us both.
Hicks finds an extremely inopportune time to propose a weird sex act to Ripley. Or is it?
Pull it in tight here.
Whoa, maybe this weapons training scene is a sex scene. Movie will try to make us believe that Burke somehow tossed a couple of facehuggers into this room in order to impregnate Ripley and Newt. But how the f*** did he do that? Did he find some unconscious facehuggers that he knew would wake up eventually and slip them in there when no one was looking? This room is soundproof for some reason.
You know, Burke, I don't know which species is worse. You don't see them f***ing each other over for a goddamn percentage.
Yeah, but how do you know that? Have you Diane Fossey'd these aliens before? I'd love to see the movie Aliens in the Mist.
It's inside the complex.
You're just reading me.
Since when do these trackers actually read the soldiers? In the last scene these were used, we saw only the aliens, causing these sensors to beep. Very conveniently, I might add, even though that's twice the movie has suggested the sensors can pick up the humans.
7, 6.
Can't be, that's inside the room.
Ripley, did you not see the last movie? There's so much nope here, I'm shocked Hicks didn't die of stupidity. Also, I'm kind of amazed that Ripley and the others didn't notice this when they checked the schematics earlier. This is a pretty big basic area of the ship that would show up on blueprints, right?
Bastard! Come on, you too! Oh, you want some of that?
You know, as annoying as Hudson is in this movie, I'm gonna knock off a sin for how Bill Paxton plays him. Maybe I'm being sentimental, but damn, he went full on into this role. But I'm also going to add a sin back for this sudden alien in the door that comes out of nowhere. You mean the aliens sent a whole group through the ceiling and then this one asshole through the floor? Yep, Burke is dead. My question is, though, how did he expect to survive any of this when all the exits were sealed? They were waiting for Bishop to do his shit while they stayed safely behind the walls, so I don't know what he was really expecting here.
Which way is it to the landing field from here?
This way.
I know Newt's been crawling through these tunnels for a long time, but how the f*** did she keep track of where the landing field was during her crawling experiences?
No!
Dental drill screaming. As amazing as these aliens are at finding people wherever they may be, it's insane they didn't find Newt's hideaway from earlier in the movie before Ripley did. Not that an alien really needs the element of surprise in this situation, but why not just drag Newt underwater before announcing its presence?
She's alive! She's alive!
Every other asshole that's been attacked by these aliens is super f***ing dead, but Ripley immediately assumes Newt survived this. Also, Ripley's readout showed several xenomorphs directly coming at them, but only one kidnaps Newt, so I'm guessing the rest of them just took a smoke break or something. While Ripley prepares for battle, Hicks casually does a speedball to chill out after a hard day. Don't get me wrong, this gearing up sequence is badass, especially featuring a female character for a change. But Ripley had like a minute-long gun lesson with Hicks earlier, and now she's a weapons expert? Damn, these cocoons are easy to tear apart. Oh my god, Ripley has a facehugger on her! Oh, that's just new. Ripley goes on a rampage against the alien eggs. Who could blame her? These aliens are super evil, and everyone is better off with them dead. But isn't this facility set to explode in about 5 minutes? Why is she wasting time with this when A, she needs to get back on the ship now, and B, the reactor's explosion will do this job for her? Can we have established rules for when someone gets acid on them after shooting an alien? Because it only happens when the plot really needs it to. Seriously, even the regular aliens can climb walls and ceilings with no problem, but the Queen has to take a f***ing elevator? What a diva.
Close your eyes, baby.
Machina Ex Machina comes in the form of Bishop and the ship he's piloting. Unless Newt had time to get to a bath at some point during the escape, she's suspiciously free of the alien goo that was all over her 10 minutes ago. The alien Queen stowed away on the ship somewhere, patiently waited through the entire trip before attempting an attack on Ripley and Newt. Back in college, I watched this movie in pop culture class. Yes, I got actual credit for studying pop culture. Isn't life awesome? Anyway, we were told to look for any kind of symbolism in the movie, and in this scene, 2 people in unison yelled, "Queen takes Bishop," and it was annoyingly clever or cleverly annoying, depending on your point of view. I'm really sorry and glad to share that with you today in this video, Sins viewers. Not only is it doubtful that the Queen had time to get on the dropship, it is impossible that she would secretly fit where the landing gear usually goes. Also, this is a f***ing great scare, but why spend all this time cutting Bishop in half? He's posed 0 threats to the aliens this whole movie, and now she's completely given up the element of surprise.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Thankfully, Ripley toiled in that menial shipping stocking job at the base, so she could probably kung fu the out of this mech loader. Believe it or not, Ripley is in yet another airlock situation with an alien. It's really the only way to dispose of the final baddie. Damn it, I thought in space no one could hear your scream. No, Bishop looks like he's just been through the worst and most dangerous porn ever filmed. Damn it, Fox, it's 2020. Why are you still named after the 20th century? Wait. Exciting, right? Alien and aliens were awesome. We're seeing dark, scary space, and the title is a thing of beauty. Pop the up! I'm sure it only gets better from here. Why so calm about this, announcer lady? Isn't this the time to get a little animated and let Ripley know something's going down? Huh, I guess it really is the quicker picker upper. This opening credit sequence is bullshit. Cut back and forth between the action and text so much that I might as well be watching a porn film in the silent movie era. We have talkies now, damn it. Yeah, but it's not that David Fincher. Obviously, the guy who directed Fight Club, The Social Network, Zodiac, and Seven wouldn't be responsible for this heap of trash. Probably like a Paul Thomas Anderson versus a Paul W.S. Anderson situation. Reading. Also, why does it have to be called Fiorina? Why not Ted's Space Prison? I could remember Ted's Space Prison. Rolls right off the tongue. Fiorina sounds like a new gastrointestinal supplement that might have side effects, including dry mouth and kidney failure. Holy that looks like Sigourney Weaver is stripped down to her bare necessities in an alien movie cliche. Hey, remember those characters you fell in love with in the last Alien movie and we're so glad they survived? Well, we've killed all of them right off the bat except for Ripley. Hope that's cool. This movie dedicates more runtime than I remember to cleaning Ripley. I believe the sponge bath is in the director's cut. Why hasn't the facehugger moved at all? The dog didn't show up. Would it have just hung out on the escape pod the whole time?
A 337 model EEV crash landed here at 0600.
How is this dude taken seriously as a leader with that voice? He sounds like a combination of Brother Maynard's assistant from Holy Grail and the marriage priest from The Princess Bride.
It's in everybody's interest the woman doesn't come out of the infirmary until the rescue team arrives, and certainly not without an escort, right?
You know, the prisoners are right there, right? Andrews isn't even trying to lower his voice. Using this much alcohol before administering a simple injection.
I'm the chief medical officer here.
Here.
Fury 161. It's one of Weyland-Yutani's backwater work prisons.
Does Weyland-Yutani own every f***ing piece of space? I guess monopoly laws are a lot lighter in 2179.
It seems to be a 5,000 convict facility.
Long before he worked with Aaron Sorkin, David Fincher was already working on his walk and exposit game.
How do you know my name?
It's stenciled on the back of your shorts.
He may be joking here, but if he's not, I'll note that if Back to the Future taught me anything, it's that identifying a person by the writing on their underwear is not the best way to discover their actual name.
And the girl?
She drowned in her cryotube.
I still can't believe Drown in her cryotube was what won the How Should Newt Die poll. I voted for Eaten by Jonesy. Newt.
Possible. Contagion.
What kind? Exactly.
Cholera.
Cholera?
Ripley now suspects this might be the result of an alien on board after seeing the goo on Newt's cryotube. So why wouldn't she go ahead and make Clemens aware of this possibility? Even if she doesn't think he'll believe in the alien theory, she could say it's a parasite or something along those lines. Hiding info at this point makes 0 sense.
You're disorientated.
Disorientated. Yes, I know it's technically a grammatically correct alternative way to say disoriented, but why add another f***ing syllable to that word and waste everyone's time? F***ing Brits. They do the same thing with aluminum, and I will never forgive them.
Chest.
Why the f*** are you telling him there could be a creature in there that could jump out and kill him?
We have to cremate the bodies.
Nonsense. We'll keep the bodies on ice.
There is the public health issue.
Good to know there will still be people pointlessly screaming about sensible public health in the late 22nd century. They're gonna f*** with the dog, aren't they? F*** you, movie. You never f*** with the dog. Has Old Yeller taught you nothing? And I blame you for I Am Legend. Andrews clearly didn't want Ripley walking around the facility any longer because the inmates might get terrible ideas. But it's perfectly fine for her to stand next to all of them at a funeral for people that none of them except Ripley even knew.
Their bodies have been taken from the shadow of far nights.
Typical preacher. Gets lazy with the eulogy and just starts misquoting Pat Benatar songs. He could have at least gone with Invincible or Hell is for Children. The crossfade got out of control for this shot. It's a funeral, not a William Shatner performance, damn it.
Nothing's certain.
Sure, nothing's certain, except that this franchise continues to exist, even though the last 4 movies have been charitably described as disappointment. That last one was a couple's retreat, for f***'s sake.
There's always a new life, a new beginning.
Literalism. I guess just like human babies, the aliens will all differ in size when they're born, but holy that is a huge alien. There's no way a dog that size was harboring that monstrosity for any amount of time. And when we see the dog's body, it emerged from a single hole. G.I. Ripley.
I tell you, it's weird. The only one to survive that crash was a woman.
Why is that weird? It's a crash. Surviving depends on position in the craft and other things that have zero to do with gender. Andrews is a dick and all, but the only thing he asked for was Ripley to not walk around the prisoners when she didn't have to. Clemens couldn't bring food to the infirmary. I guess the movie has to have some human conflict, but there are less contrived ways to go about it. Also, Ripley herself said she was going to be sick for a few weeks after waking up from cryosleep, but she's right as rain after a shave and a haircut, ready to yuck it up with Rock and the boys.
You see, we've got a good place to wait here. And until now, no temptation.
So before now, there's been no temptation? Because there are also thieves and murderers to go along with the rapists. And no one has been tempted to murder anyone or steal anything? No one?
How do you like your new haircut?
It's okay.
Vanity. Definitely my favorite sin.
Attracted.
In what way?
In that way.
Damn it, no, it's lust. I forgot about lust. Lust is definitely my favorite sin. Yes, even if it involves the bad guy from Last Action Hero in Zool.
What are you doing there?
I know the lighting isn't the best. Hell, I'd say that about this entire movie, but come on, man. How would Thomas possibly mistake this big-ass xenomorph for his f***ing dog? Did she just feel a disturbance in the force?
I really appreciate your affection, but I am aware that they deflected my question.
Jesus Christ, when did this alien movie turn into Red Shoe Diaries? I know Clemens is a suave cat, but has Ripley ever been this horned up in the franchise? Hell, she could have f***ed Michael Biehn in the last movie. A much better catch.
You're spoiling the mood.
Well, this movie has had one mood the entire time, and it's well past its expiration date, but I think the only way to spoil the mood would be if someone cracked even a partial smile, and that ain't gonna happen anytime soon with these depressing assholes.
Death was instantaneous.
No I take it he was pulled into the fan.
You think? But seriously, how has this not happened before, given how close you have to be to the fan to do this job? God damn it, stop touching weird with your bare hands! Even the inmates use gloves, you dick! You're a doctor!
You know, wandering around without an escort is really going to piss Superintendent Andrews off.
Maybe Clemens should have spoken up about that when she had to go fend for herself in the cafeteria.
I can point you in the right direction. I can't join you. I have a previous engagement.
Is it just me, or does Charles Dance deliver his lines about 35% too dramatically for this movie?
How would you like me to explain your sordid history to your newfound friend?
Blocking. Good thing they chucked Bishop on the trash heap with his hands sticking straight up for easy identification. Oh, goody. 40 minutes in and we haven't had a single decent alien sequence, but we're getting an attempted rape scene. This movie is fun.
What the is doing there?
Have you seen how many candles there are in this compartment? 2 of them go out, and it gets your spidey sense all aroused? What the is doing that? I don't know. The air in the compartment? Also, is this saying the xenomorph is blowing these things out like a birthday cake? I guess he was born today, but that's some incredible lung capacity for an infant. This works. This asshole didn't see this until just now. You know what would make this actually creepy? If I had any clue where they are right now, or where the other dude got aliened, or where any of these tunnels lead. This movie has zero sense of space. Man, this xenomorph is sneaky as balls. What was it doing? Hiding in a ninja stance on the ceiling pipes, ready to pounce after these buttholes were good and scared? Aren't these things fast and strong? Do they need to employ stealth tactics?
Was there an alien on board?
If there was an alien on board, they really should have made one of those cheesy yellow decals and slapped it on the escape ship.
Is it on the Sulaco or Did it come with us in the EV?
It was with us all the way.
If he can detect that now, why couldn't they detect that then? Seems like that would have been a super important thing to check for before departing the place where you were attacked by a swarm of aliens.
What about dogs and rain?
Dude, I know we're not socially distancing at this point, but is it necessary to get this tight to have this conversation?
I'd like to talk to him about this dragon.
It's a dragon.
If they're talking about dragons, shouldn't Clemens be more interested in asking the questions?
Let me see if I have this correct, Lieutenant. It's an 8-foot creature, some kind with acid for blood, and it arrived on your spaceship.
Smarmy asshole in charge, smarmily, and immediately dismisses obvious threat that will eventually kill him directly cliché.
And we're
No, you're.
Dude, that was like 20 movie minutes ago. Try to keep up.
Perhaps I should give you one of my special cocktails.
Damn it, wasn't anyone paying attention when they got it on earlier? You know, while Clemens was playing footsie and drinking tea with Ripley, don't you think he could have paused at least briefly to wipe the massive amount of blood off Walter's face?
You're gonna die too.
What is it about psychotic patients that provokes filmmakers to always tell the protagonists they're going to die?
I was considered to be most promising, a man with a future.
Extraterrestrials, Skip! Earlier, this motherfucker used a ridiculous amount of alcohol to clean the injection site, but now, even though Ripley's been through a scrap heap, an assault attempt, and dealt with bishop goo, he's just ramming that in with impunity? They didn't hear it walk in at all? Is that asshole wearing ballet slippers or something? This image is so closely associated with this movie, I'm going to award it an honorary roll credits. We find out later why the alien didn't kill Ripley, but why did it let Rapey McRaperson in the straitjacket live?
Pull this woman back to the infirmary!
Not only is Andrews in perfect alien attack from the ceiling placement in the cafeteria, the alien knows exactly when to come down for perfect dramatic timing. Get this alien a contract quickly before Universal snags it for whatever movie they're making to rip off this one. I know this xenomorph is young, but someone should really let it know that it's an embarrassingly messy eater. That's probably the best part of the movie. So you'd think I'd remove a sin, but I reiterate, this is probably the best part of the movie. Oh man, they made this poor asshole mop up leftover Andrews and put up all these chairs by himself? How is this important?
What do we do now? Who's in charge?
The answer to this question has always been and always will be Charles. Charles is in charge.
Nothing much works here.
Movie predicts its own critical response with a line of actual dialogue.
It's clean as a whistle inside.
This is the only way. In or out.
That's right.
So where'd the other inmates go? I thought they were super hard to learn the plan, but once they actually start the planning, they pieced out. It's almost like everyone involved in this thing lost interest around the 1 hour mark.
Why should we put our ass on the line for you?
The characters in this movie have amazing cases of selective amnesia. Just 3 minutes ago, Rock was asking Ripley if she could lead them against the alien, and now he's manufacturing conflict right before the plan is enacted. Why? Seriously, why is this movie? This is a less essential alien movie than Covenant, and I shudder to even say that.
It's like a lion. Sticks close to the zebras.
But I learned on the historically accurate Jungle Cruise at Disneyland that the lions are always just protecting the sleeping zebras. And now I'm wondering what other lies Skipper Chet told me. Maybe the longest river in the world doesn't really go on for miles and miles and miles. Why, Chet? Why?
There's definitely something in here with us.
And it's nice enough to wait till you can set all your traps up before attacking. These aliens have gotten way more considerate by the third film. They're doing stuff, planning things, liquids and solids and me. I have no clue what's happening in this montage. Just move along to the xenomorph beating ass and Ripley having her Terminator 2 moment, will ya?
Get down!
Everyone survives this. I mean, I think everyone does. It's so hard to see in this movie that as long as I see Ripley and Dylan, I assume everyone else is alive. How does all this on the EEV still work? They sure as hell wouldn't be able to fix anything at the facility since 85 said earlier,
We've got a lot of technology, no way to fix it.
It's real fuzzy.
Hit enhancement.
hey man, if there's going to be a zoom and enhance cliche up in this franchise, it should be the movie that was directed by the guy that did Blade Runner. Also, I'm watching a goddamn ultrasound in real time. At what should be the climax of the movie. It has a lot of flaws, but the most glaring one is how boring it is. Apparently the enhancement didn't work, since it still looks like we're watching blurred porn on a hotel TV from 1988. I've heard in a lot of writers' rooms they have a list on a wall that details all of the things they refuse to do on their television show or movie. There should have been one for this movie. And number one on that list should have been, do not f***ing have Ripley be impregnated with a f***ing alien. Considering these outside shots look so shitty, I can't figure out why they ever cut to them. They add zero to the story. Every single exterior shot looks like Jason X took a all over Space Quest 4.
Maybe I'll go find it. See how smart it is.
Don't you get the feeling that Sigourney Weaver wants this movie to be over as much as we all do in the audience? Me waiting to see the three little dots come up on the iPhone whenever I text someone.
Don't be afraid. I'm part of the family.
Cajoling your alien. At least that's what I called it when I was in middle school and my mom told me it was definitely a sin. Man, why do all these alien movies have to be so freaking moist?
I have one inside of me. It's a queen and an egg layer.
How the did Ripley see that level of detail from that fuzzy-ass picture? That looked like the background of a Spike Jones music video from the 90s. There is not a single person watching this movie thinking that Dylan is going to kill Ripley here. So this scene has no suspense, no matter how high you turn up that score. This scene is a prison cell of lies.
You're not a believer. You're a company man.
It really feels like 90% of this movie is characters arguing about killing the alien, and 3% is spent actually trying to kill the alien. Oh, the other 7% is Gosford Park and Gorillas in the Mist boning.
They killed my mates too!
This goes on for every last bit of some time.
When they first heard about this thing, it was crew expendable. The next time they sent in Marines.
Previously on Alien.
Where are you gonna be?
I'll be around.
What about the others? Where are they?
Praying.
Well, sounds like an excellent plan then. Should we go ahead and order the celebratory pizza now? I guess it may be part of the point of this place to be spatially confusing, but everything looks the same. It's like the set designer got a really good deal on burnt sienna-colored paint at Home Depot and decided to buy all of it. Just want to point out that this movie had a budget of $50 million in 1992. Xenovision!
All they have to do is run down a damn corridor. Stay here.
Why do they even have to run down those damn corridors? Dylan pointed out correctly that they could use Ripley to their advantage because the alien won't kill her. So f***ing use her already and stop playing this weird version of tag. Are you sure? Because this alien sure seems to be taking its sweet-ass time dramatically killing fools instead of trying to find its way out of the tunnel system. Why'd they park so far away? The facility has to have a docking station, right? And someone said earlier that it's like negative 40 degrees out.
Kevin!
Is Dylan really asking Kevin not to struggle while he is trying not to be eaten by a f***ing alien? Okay, swear to God, this is a new character we've never seen before. They all look pretty much the same because of the shaved heads, but I thought I knew who most of them were. There's Rock, the florist, the tiny angry dude with the bad accent, the kid with the prison tattoo, the guy that looks like Varys, the tall ugly guy, massive head wound Harry, and the company man. That should be it, man. This is a new character created just so the alien can eat one more motherfucker before it got iced. What is this thing doing right now? A complicated lasso routine? If the alien's stuck, scared of Ripley, recording a TikTok? So Dylan stays behind to hold the alien in the lead bay, but he knows Ripley's got a much more dangerous situation inside of her. What's the deal with the sacrifice if the alternative is even worse? So I guess the idea here is that water is mixing with the hot lead and making the exoskeleton brittle. Eventually, the increased internal pressure would cause the alien to explode. However, for this to work, the alien would have to be literally burning alive inside the outer shell. So the fact that it's still jumping around like a f***ing spider monkey is bonkers as hell and pretty much bull.
The company sent me here to show your friendly face, to demonstrate how important you are to us, to me.
Wayland Yutani knows how the gestation works, right? I mean, it's been almost a century since the first chest burster. Why wouldn't they just wait around for Ripley to give birth, which should happen any minute, and just capture the little gal as soon as she comes out?
What are you doing?
Trust falls? Mazel tov, it's a girl. Morse got to be the last one standing. And Morse, if only it were true. 2 full minutes of opening credits that are somehow even more gooey than 1990s Nickelodeon slime that do nothing for no one. These guys came here either to kick ass or chew bubblegum, and I guess we know which choice they made.
My mommy always said there were no monsters.
There's narration, and then there's this kind of narration, which never shows up again for the remainder of the picture. Excuse me, but it looks like they've somehow cloned Ripley along with her alien baby after she threw herself into the molten steel that the Terminator threw himself in at the end of T2. If you've got the technology to do that, why not just clone the alien itself and take Ripley out of it? Later we find out they did something even stupider by simply crossing the DNA between the two species. Jesus Christ! Also, sure, this scalpel is a laser, so it's probably way better than the stupid shit the past uses. But in this scenario, don't you still need to draw a line or something to know where you need to cut? This still requires a steady hand. Also, they're cutting an alien fetus out of Ripley, and they have no idea how such a thing survives. Other than the fact that Ripley is awesome, and it wouldn't be a true alien movie without Sigourney Weaver. Why the hell wouldn't they just wait until the alien bursts out of her chest? There are more than enough supposedly unbreakable cells in this facility for that to happen.
How's the host?
Doing well.
Okay, Ripley will live. Just be sure to put her in a literal cocoon so we can fully express what I envision as a butterfly metaphor. I know we doctor types get caught up in the science, but can't we get caught up in the beauty for once?
Sew her back up.
Hold up. You're futuristic enough to have a laser replace a scalpel, but you still have to use stitches to sew someone back up after surgery? Why isn't there another laser for that
You're gonna make us all very proud.
As if we needed proof that these alien-saving assholes were assholes, and as if we needed proof that Ripley is a badass, this doctor gets all Miguel Ferrer and RoboCop up in Ripley's business so this unnecessary shit can go down. Also, did they accidentally get a drop of xenia onatop into the Ripley alien cloning process? Because that's the kind of xenophobia I can get on board with. Granted, this weapon puts out a proton-pack-sized electricity bolt, but this is a clear case of a taser cosplaying as a gun. Oh, did you hear? They make these pocket-size now.
Hand. Close. Glove.
To be fair, it looks like the artist had a conflict on whether they were drawing a hand or a glove as well.
An unexpected benefit of the genetic process.
You can say it as many times as you like in the script, but it still explains nothing and sounds dumb.
Identification, please.
Introducing futuristic technology into your movie that is so stupid I now have to possibly watch this as a satire, even though it might just be bad.
Bottom line is, she looks at me funny one time, I'm putting her down.
The guy who was more than happy to kill Ripley a minute ago was somehow persuaded not to by the doctors, who provided absolutely no good reason to keep her alive.
How did
we get you?
Well, you see, Alien 3 made $160 million at the box office, which was great for 1992 money. And even though it was intended to be the end of the franchise, Fox's executives saw a big old bag of money where Ripley's ashes were, and here we are. Is this like the Shawshank Redemption maggot that this guy is pulling off Ripley's tray, or is this something that was actually served as dinner? Just to be sure, I'm going to add a sin for the gross worm food, and another sin for stealing someone else's gross worm food off the plate.
You can't teach her tricks.
Why not? We're teaching you.
Hey, son, I'll give you my authorization code. It's EATME.
After this, they totally failed to provide a true access code and yet are still allowed to enter the ship anyway.
Hey, don't cut thrust till about 600 meters and we'll give him a little scare.
But this doesn't happen, and I'm wondering why this line is even in the movie if that's the case. The ship very calmly enters the bigger ship and no one gets a scare. Docking, clamping, locking, excitement?
There are no weapons allowed on board, sir.
My own recipe.
This works. When I see something like a rehydratable whiskey, I think, that must be pretty useful in reducing the weight of the cargo when stuff like this is delivered. But mostly I think this movie just wants to have something futuristic in it to establish a synthetic futuristicity.
Whatever you got going on here, it ain't exactly approved by Congress.
Congress still exists in 2381? If we haven't found a more efficient way to govern ourselves 3 centuries from now, maybe we deserve to be eaten by xenomorphs.
Stasis uninterrupted.
Girl interrupted.
MedLab Center is off limits to civilians.
But our gum-chewing guards could have easily told you that. Don't know why I'm doing their jobs. Oh well. Hollywood really missed the boat in the late 90s in getting us an Ellen Ripley versus Snake Plissken one-on-one basketball contest. Think of it. The alien resurrections escape from L.A. Hoop it up, cherry ball hog. I don't know why this place needs a whole basketball rack complete with roughly 10 basketballs when all they have is this one hoop in the middle of this very small so-called gym. Why the hell are these space pirates even allowed to see Ripley? Like, I know the alien is the main attraction, but they have plans for Ripley too. The military just lets these fuckers play around with her. Draymond Green.
Something of a predator, isn't she?
Well, no, not until you guys install the armor, the rad weapons belt, and the heat vision that can't see a muddy Arnold Schwarzenegger on her. Jesus Christ, whoever typed up this description really went wild with the ends on ornately and guaranteed. If home shopping networks still exist in 2381, maybe we do deserve to be eaten by xenomorphs. Mainly, I'm just wondering why the USM didn't bother to light the alien's room at all, trying to observe the alien. Correct? Why so dark? Why didn't you give her any cable TV? Alien vs. Chucky, Antebellum. Monster f***ers. Given the chance to show either excitement or boredom, movie chooses boredom.
Please try again.
His father figure was able to see Call and Christie trying to go into the medical lab earlier and told them they were not authorized. But for some reason, father can't see unauthorized people here and goes with the breath ID bullshit.
Thank you, General Perez.
Did she carry around a liquefied breath from General Perez? Or are these sensors that easy to fool? This futuristic lockpicking is even dumber than the Empire using the exact same data port in every single base and ship so rebel droids can hack in to help the heroes go where the script tells them.
They've taken it out of you.
At this point, we know that Call knows pretty much everything about this facility, so it's pretty unbelievable that she didn't know they already took the alien out of Ripley. Yeah, let's keep having this conversation in the center of the room where anyone who looks down can see us, instead of moving to the edges out of sight. That's a good plan.
You're a thing. A construct.
Seeing, as we'll eventually learn, Call is a synthetic being, this tone feels a bit hypocritical. And we sin hypocrisy extra hard around these parts, especially when it's just so the audience won't guess that she's a cyborg right away. The movie established that Christie had these taxi driver guns earlier on, and we saw how lax the weapons inspection was when these guys got here. But this is lax to the point that I don't even know why there was a weapon inspection scene in this movie in the first place.
And as far as I am concerned, you all die with her!
This guy's performance isn't quite goofy enough to be funny, but it is too goofy to be the right level of serious for an alien movie. Mathematically, it works out to exactly one sin. Christy Happy Gilmore's a bullet that ends up going through this guy's helmet and mean, could this movie have just told us this was possible before throwing us headfirst into a giant salad of nonsense? Also, if this helmet doesn't stop a single shot, what use is it?
There is a serious problem in the mess hall.
Calling a gym a mess hall. All these aliens snapping at each other and a bunch of close-ups feels like an intrusive game of hungry hippos. Also, I'm not sure what film school teaches this close-up and shaky cam combo, but I think it needs to be shut down. Even more so than the Prometheus school running away from things. I find it very hard to believe that these scientists had no idea about the acid blood, which was established way back in the first Alien and would definitely be a known fact about them. Just maybe you guys need to fortify these cells to defend against the acid blood.
If those things get loose, it's gonna make the Lacerda plague look like a f***ing square dance.
If square dancing still exists in 2381, perhaps we humans deserve to be eaten by xenomorphs. Did this guy not want to enter the lab on the side where the doctors were? I'm pretty sure he has no idea what happened, so why go straight to the place where the aliens were being held? There could still be a bunch of them in here.
That was easy.
Good luck, soldiers. You might be safe. But if the last 3 movies have taught me anything about escape pods, it's that you've got 50-50 odds of having a sleeping xenomorph facehugger on board or crash landing onto a prison planet in the middle of the most boring script in the franchise. The last guy jumps into the escape pod and for some reason they're not sent on their way immediately, giving time for this alien to jump in there and kill everybody. Earlier, this is what the movie established concerning the escape pods, and while it was confusing as hell, the pod was shot out of the station as soon as the last harness was secured. This grenade roll is lucky as but from this point forward, I have no idea how General Perez knows that A, the grenade went into the pod, and B, that he was successful in blowing up the pod. He's behind a blast door of some sort by the time the pod launches, so he doesn't have a good view of it leaving. It's gotta be totally clueless, right? That's why I don't waste time collecting every bit of spare ammo and guns and video games. Sometimes it's best just to make do with what you have. The movie just ends by the windcop before the 1 hour mark. That's classified as a Type A waste of Michael Woodcock. There's no excuse for it. We'll find out in a second that this is Ripley sticking a gun through Nelson's open wound. That's a great surprise and all, but just how tall is Ripley to be standing on the lower level and pointing this gun through the floor of the upper level? Maybe I have no idea of the geography here, but that's surely the movie's fault, right? How many more are there? 12. Futuristic movie is clever and makes up a totally fictional number. Well, how much is 12? It's like 11 or something.
She was part of his experiment and she will turn on us in a second.
Okay, I get your hesitance, but did she not just blow away an alien a minute ago?
Did what?
Paul plays the pronoun game so that Ripley has to ask what the hell that is. The movie wants me to be on edge, since I think an alien would take the elevator.
If they send anyone out, it'll be, here. Where the meat is.
Say what you will about the later alien movies, but their best feature continues to be Sigourney Weaver. I love how unhinged she becomes in the later films. The transition from warrant officer to get away from her to pseudo clone is so much fun to watch. One set off for the most badass woman in cinema. Sci-fi characters think Earth is a piece of shit cliche. It's a good thing he got that slow rise close-up of Ripley's ass. Super important shot. If Ron Perlman doesn't accidentally fall on a bruise later, I'll have questions about whether Joss Whedon really wrote this. The movie accidentally inspires a lackluster origin story for Supreme Leader Snoke. And of course there's one left, Ripley 7, who will undoubtedly represent the movie's extremely obvious please kill me scene, since movies about clones can't go without one. Also, I don't know how this genetic crossing between an alien and Ripley somehow created a full-scale Ripley complete with an alien in her chest. Like, if you're combining DNA, how do you even get that result? The fact that she's number 8 and not, like, number 5 million is truly unbelievable. Ripley's flamethrower doesn't trigger any lab safety measures designed to mitigate possible fires. Are you sure you don't want to add some fire suppression measures in this lab? Don't do it.
Don't do what?
Having watched this scene carefully about 12 times, there was also the option to say nothing.
We can't just leave her here.
I thought you told me to stop and spread. Chrissy would be f***ing amazing at cinema scenes.
In a few hours, it's gonna burst its way through your rib cage. And you're gonna die. Any questions?
Yeah, I have one. Why did all the other chest bursters hatch before now? And why is this one going to delay for a few more hours? What's waiting for? Dramatic effect? Who are you?
I'm Lawrence's mother.
So wait, she still gets to be coy with her answers after burning down that clone lab a minute ago? Which was supposed to be a symbol of her burgeoning humanity and her battle with alien and human DNA?
Look, he comes with us. We'll freeze him on the Betty, then the doctor can remove it later.
And then they just agree with X, even though Call has the least power of anyone in this group.
We gotta lose the chair.
I know.
Earlier, Tuba Salamanca said,
After the cooling tower, there's a freight elevator.
did the climbing down the ladder part escape his mind? I realize he may not be thinking of a man in a wheelchair when he brings up these very simple directions, but you'd think he'd at least mention that there's a tedious part, considering they were looking for the quickest way to the dock.
Let's be the cooling tanks.
Water levels. I don't care if it's Mario or Sonic, they're the absolute worst. So here's 3 sins for all of them collectively.
You ready to get wet, partner?
My own personal dialogue when I'm about to have sex somehow makes it into the script. Also, considering the fact that they've been walking through a river with water pouring down all around, I'd say everybody is already wet and do not need to get ready for it. Everybody starts jumping into the water and swim across this kitchen, and I guess every single one of these people can swim, which is absolutely amazing look. This editing can suck my ass. You see Hillard swimming away from the alien. Here she is from the back. Now you see her face, return to the back, somewhat back to her face engulfed in water, and now here's a random shot of the alien's face with no context for where it actually is, followed by nonsensical footage, followed by a somewhat coherent shot of the alien grabbing her foot. Imagine telling someone the story. Yeah, this lady, I mean, swimming. I don't know, the alien was somewhere, and then I saw its face, and then something, blah, 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 and that's when she got dragged down in the water. By the way, everyone's breath-holding skills are goddamn impeccable during this over 3-minute underwater swim, complete with a struggle getting through the alien water membrane thing at the end, which would reduce their oxygen. Inside in the membrane! Inside in the membrane! Damn, either those facehuggers can sense when potential hosts are nearby and open their eggs accordingly, or someone gave these motherfuckers the script so they can know the best possible time to cause conflict for our protagonists. So wait, the aliens just figured out the route everyone was taking and set up all these pods in time to ambush them? Or did they learn every aspect of the ship's blueprints and this group's plan to pull this off? All things considered, could they not have renamed Christie with a more proper moniker like Ricochet, or do a super cheeky Ricochet? Seems like a wasted opportunity. Alright, so he fired 2 grenades, but I counted at least 5 explosions. Are the eggs themselves highly flammable, or did the xenomorphs leave more ammunition up here as part of the trap? Why couldn't he have gotten Father to open the door in the first place? Also, now that we see Ripley trying to open the door, why can't she just do the manual Dr. Glenn just did a second ago? Christie goes about shooting the alien all wrong. He needs to ricochet the bullets, man. Can't just shoot straight. That's linear talk. Also, you gotta love how the movie's explanation for him missing is that the alien dodges slightly while on a ladder. This movie and this alien just figured out they could shoot laser beam acid saliva at people they don't like. And we will never see this again. Hellboy was worried about Ripley wasting ammo a minute ago, and then he uses ammo on a harmless spider. Christie decides to make a sacrifice here, and good for him, but the issue seems to be that the dead alien is still holding onto his foot, and it's weighing down him and the disabled Vries, who is now carrying the load. Can they not just shoot the alien's arm off? Could he maybe try to remove his shoe with his other foot? Is everyone out of ammo? After falling into this pool, as long as Christie can get loose from the alien claw, he should be good, right? I don't know why everyone is acting so shocked. They've all seen Stranger Things. The real reveal here is not that Call survived because she's a cyborg. The reveal is that she survived because she's Winona Ryder. Also, putting your fingers in someone's hole without consent.
I should have known. No human being is that humane.
You should have known when your heightened senses didn't detect a heartbeat when she first appeared in your cell.
Government ordered a recall.
Do we really have to hear the history of this new synthetic technology? Who cares at this point? She's basically Ash and Bishop from the previous movies, and I don't know if we need to get caught up in the .0 part of the conversation.
Great. She's a toaster oven.
Are toaster ovens still in use in 2381? We saw alcohol earlier reliquefied from a dry cube using a laser. You're going to tell me they don't have an advanced equivalent for warming food up? If we don't, maybe we deserve to be eaten by xenomorphs.
You got a socket wrench? Maybe she just needs an oil change.
That's interfaces.
There's ports in the chapel up there.
Putting a data port with mainframe access in your chapel. If you're going to download porn during your religious services, why not just scrap the chapel altogether? Eliminate the middleman, or middlewoman, I'm not judging. It's not surprising they have an Amazon Fire Holy Bible here. But what I found curious is that this version was edited in 1901?
Try to clear us a path to the Betty. And start her up.
I'll buy her clearing you a path, but why would she be able to start the Betty from this ship's data port? Is the Betty hardwired to this ship's mainframe?
I knew if they succeeded, it'd be the end of them.
Why do you care what happens to them?
Because I'm programmed to.
So, just before the recall, how convenient, Call decided to hook up to the mainframe, how convenient, and she discovered everything the government was up to, how convenient. And because she's, quite conveniently I might add, programmed to protect government employees, that's why she's here? How convenient!
But I plan to live past today.
Saying the one thing that will ensure you do not live past today. What's that? He doesn't die in this movie? Huh. Well, I guess here's a sin for defying the laws of cinema. Yeah, that was her slime hand.
I hear them.
Funny that you couldn't hear them when they chased you through the cooling tower 20 minutes ago. With all those senses, Ripley didn't notice the alien directly underneath her.
The best thing you can do is pray for a quick death.
Speak for yourself, bucko.
It's up to you now, Cole. I need you to patch into the ship again and open the hatch.
Granted, I know nothing about this particular spaceship, but why would you need the computer to open the ship for you? Is it because Michael Wincott and his girlfriend, the pilot, got killed? Did they have the keys? Of course this guy's water broke, and he's due for his chest bursting exactly now. It's going to function as both a needless complication they could have avoided and a deus ex machina for the current situation.
I told you. At first, everything was normal.
Here at the Alien Queen Bar and Bistro, the locals often arrive early for happy hour. But the stories they tell are anything but.
That is Ripley's gift to her. A human reproductive system.
So wait, if the alien has a human reproductive system, would that not require her to be inseminated before getting pregnant with a child? And maybe she did get inseminated, but I'm still giving a sin because I need to see the insemination or the triple X throwdown. You called it Ripley's gift to the Queen, but I'm not sure forcing her to go through labor pains and childbirth is exactly a gift when she previously could just lay eggs. Seems like more of a punishment to me. Well, that's okay. Maybe she's stupid. I mean, this child was literally standing in the alien queen's room a minute ago and decided to karate chop their mother's face off. And wouldn't this be Ripley's grandchild? Ripley was carrying the queen, wasn't she? Anyway, please have a my sister, my daughter scene. I'm begging. Look, say anything about this hellspawn, the 8 aliens, the 8 humans. Love them all. As Ripley runs through the ship to get to the Betty, I've got to ask, where the are the other aliens that are wandering around here? They just excused themselves from the movie after the swimming scene.
Ripley!
Why does the Betty have access to a camera down this random hallway? Is it the Betty's camera? Or did the Betty steal visuals from the Auriga?
Why are we still here?
You're probably right, Ripley. But did you not just make a mad dash to the ship, hoping it hadn't flown away yet?
I would do things too, no kidding. This is even older than I am.
So, is that a no? Can or can't you fly it? There's no f***ing way this dickhead made it here. Didn't Ripley have to jump across a huge gap to even get on the ship? How did this f***er make it in time? How did he even know where to go? Also, this suggests Ripley closed the hatch and either didn't make sure it closed all the way just as the alien-human hybrid made it jump for it and made it, or the alien-human hybrid was late and had enough strength to lift the hatch by themselves. Other way, fuck you, movie. Footage of me trying to get one of my cats out from under the sofa somehow makes its way into the movie.
Put it down!
This is almost like the ending of Friday the 13th Part 2, when Jenny pretends to be Jason's mother. And it works. It's not as egregious as that, because this movie established that the child thinks Ripley is their mother. But mostly I just want to make a Friday the 13th Part 2 sin here, so I have no choice. Man, I haven't seen an ending this sad since Marley and Me.
2, 1. Thank you.
I like how this movie shows one goddamn alien in some nondescript area of the ship as a reminder of why the ship is crashing to Earth in the first place. Because everyone watching this movie probably forgot there were still others around. Also, why does the ship's computer say thank you at the end of this countdown? Who's that for? The people who decided to stay behind while the ship crashes? The gaping hole that was left behind when Ripley murdered her child makes me wonder how these two survived the heat of re-entry.
We saved the Earth.
Ripley, please do a check around the ship first before you say that. There are numerous ways that aliens stowed away on this ship while you weren't looking.
What happens now?
Well, Whedon will write a 5th film. James Cameron will try to make his own, and both will end up being killed by a crossover event. Things will get worse before they get better, Cole. And eventually, the Prometheus school of running away from things will be born. We'll leave the light on for ya. You spelled Alien vs. Predator wrong, movie? You had one job. Also, movie thinks that if it's set in Antarctica, it can get the Thing brownie points, and movie is wrong. Worthless 1904 scene is worthless. The only reason this is here is because the movie knows it won't get to the killing for a long time, so they sacrifice this dude to the audience gods. You gotta love how the AVP wasn't enough, so they spelled out the Alien vs. Predator anyway, as if they were warning viewers who bought tickets to Princess Diaries 2 to find the correct auditorium and watch a movie that sucks slightly less. I get that the date is important, so we know it's been almost 100 years to the day since the opening scene, and the Weyland Corporation equipment puts us right into the alien universe, which is all well and good, but low Earth orbit. What does that tell us? Why is that needed? Why is this added description? Character watches a horror film in a horror film cliche. taking a phone call while climbing a mountain. So, during her climb up this mountain, she didn't notice a goddamn helicopter flying by and landing. Also, if Maxwell knew what Alexa was in the middle of doing, why couldn't he wait until she got to the top of the mountain to talk to her? Sure, he's not a paleontologist, but this feels like a scene that would fit in a Jurassic Park film. This movie might have come out in 2004, but it is dying to have been released in 1994. Can't wait for the Tarantino dialogue and the B-plot about the 12-year-old kid making it on the roster of an MLB team.
I'm bringing in another team.
So wait, because Sebastian grabbed one handful of dirt from the site and it turns out to be a Pepsi cap from the 1950s, this guy's ready to fire him? But the same happens when this guy sits down at an Applebee's. I'd like a Coke, please, and some Pepsi here, so I'm bringing in another wait staff.
Hold the team together for 2 days. I'll go to Mexico City and I'll talk to the bank.
Sounds less like it's a matter of money and more like a matter of Juan just fired Sebastian's team and is bringing in a new one. What good will money do if the man in charge of the site is bringing in new employees? Taking pictures of people sleeping.
I'm documenting your trip for my boys.
Yeah, because people sleeping are always a huge hit when you gather everyone around the slide projector. Sure, it's classified to all the dumbasses that live in the movie world, but why is it classified for us? We know it's going to Antarctica. The fact that it's classified has no bearing on the movie. This isn't the beaker.
That's what they call scientists. You know, beaker, like in the Muppet Show.
Or like beakers that scientists use. Why does this need an explanation? So Lance Henriksen is playing Charles Wayland in this movie. After playing Cyborg, Fishes, and Aliens, this that means Wayland Corp created a cyborg in his own image after he died. Why did they go with the Ian Holm model before that?
How could anyone possibly build a pyramid out here? Huge map showing Antarctica free of ice. It's likely the continent was once habitable.
Even if this is accurate, the ancient maps depict that ice started forming 35 million years ago, and humans didn't even show up until several million years after that.
Maybe I wasn't clear. No one in this room is ready for this trip.
Yet somehow he was compelled to take a trip to Antarctica without knowing all the details first. Seriously, how did they get a responsible person out here without telling her what was going on? I know money is a huge factor, but he doesn't appear to be motivated by that at all.
What about Paul Woodman or Angie?
We called him.
They got the same person you did.
So wait, you were able to call these other guys and tell them exactly what was up. You dragged her out here without telling her a thing?
Mr. Whalen, when I leave my team, I don't ever leave my team.
That seems like a given for a tour guide of any type. I'm sure you need to put that in the fine print.
Let me ask you something. Who will stand a better chance of surviving with you? Or with a number 2 choice?
Alexa doesn't think the guy they called to replace her is ready to do this, and they called 2 qualified people who said no. That's 3 people. Are you telling me they couldn't find one money-grubbing guide who's comparable to her? No one who watches the skies for a living notices a giant goddamn spaceship headed our way. We find out later this is a tunnel that the Predators created to get down to the pyramid. How the did none of the humans below see a giant flash of light in their area or hear anything? Also, because the Predators dick around in space after cutting this tunnel, they allow the humans to discover it and get to the pyramid before they do, which f***s up their entire reason for being here. They simply go down to Earth immediately, they run into the humans before they even get to the pyramid, and this movie is over quickly.
When I was a kid growing up in Italy, you know what they call a moon that big? La Luna del Cacciatore.
Translated, the Bruce Almighty Moon.
What are these?
Whale bones.
Even the most basic of archaeologists would see bones like this in the middle of Antarctica and know that they are f***ing whale bones. Sebastian shouldn't need Lex to tell him this. Even when the movie tries a jump scare, it's telegraphed to the point that we can't even get the cheapest of frights. Yeah, it might be cute, but it's still no better than a cat jumping out at you. If I'm going to send cat scares, then I'm definitely going to send the penguin waddle scare. Also, I read that this is a Humboldt penguin, which is a species found in Peru and Chile and not in the Arctic region. But instead of sinning the movie for not geographing right, I will instead sin whomever gave a species of penguin a boring name like Humboldt.
Just drilled at a perfect 30-degree angle.
Which means the pyramid is not directly under the whaling station as everyone had said up to this point. Based on this angle and the length of the hole, it's probably close to a mile away from the whaling station. And I don't want to be that guy. Wait, I am 100% that guy. So,
More advanced. Incredibly powerful.
they now know for a fact that technology the Earth doesn't possess did this and cut a section of these structures above the ground in the process. They know it happened in the last 24 hours. There's no evidence of another team here. At best, some other team beat them here and everything Wayland wanted to avoid has already happened. But instead of waiting and checking things out, they immediately decide, let's just go down into the impossible tunnel. This is at least 37% more Rambo than I like to have in my Predator movie. However, any percentage of Cobra is always welcome. Best thing this movie can think of to complicate the situation is to have some dude trip over a mountain of cases, cause a tarp to get loose, and have it fly into the cable rig that the people are using to climb down into the tunnels. And there are no consequences. This works. I guess he forgot that in the Latin alphabet, Jehovah begins with an I. Also, this guy steps on a stone or roof shingle or some shit in this room, and it slowly collapses into the floor. Somehow, this stone triggers something way down below in the dead center of the pyramid to open these doors, which apparently conceal an alien frozen in carbonite. Why would this pyramid have a stone located here that controls a cryosleep prison chamber? We find out later this is part of a predator warrior ritual. Why would they put such an important stepping stone here? These chains and this alien queen baby-making contraption make this film feel a lot more Hellraiser than Alien or Predator. Come to think of it, Pinhead versus Predator would be a much more exciting movie. There would be such sights to show us. Who taught you?
Funny, kinda look like you.
Movie has time for this.
Only the chosen ones may enter.
If the Predators need the humans there to play host to the aliens, so they have prey to hunt, and they are leaving a ton to chance. Seems like it would be easier to kidnap a bunch of humans and drag them to the pyramid, instead of hoping a bunch of scientists show up to investigate a heat signature. Awesome! We get to watch a team of drillers we don't know or care about get picked off by Predators PG-13 style. Fun. I know the Predators are virtually invisible, but try following any of this action. We'll throw one guy, we'll stick two jagged blades to another guy, and the last guy gets an invisible spear to the stomach that then turns visible for some reason. Let's set the action scene at night, with snow all around, and shoot everything close up, and have at least 2 cuts a second when we get to the editing room. We don't make movies for audiences. Rando driller guy survives this. Well, the fall at least. Alright, let's remind ourselves why we're here. That's right, it's the pyramid. Get a long look at the pyramid, everybody, because that's where we're going next, if you don't know. The pyramid.
It's probably just Bill, moving through the tunnels.
I'd say this guy is just whistling past the graveyard, but he obviously hasn't heard any sound from any wind instrument in his life. False fossilized facehugger fright.
Evidence has it's been dead a while.
Miller is about as useful in this movie as Forrest Whitaker was in Species.
It's like some kind of scorpion.
No, climate's too hostile for a scorpion.
And it looks nothing like a scorpion. Also, I swear every scientist interaction in this movie is, I think this is what X means, or says, or is. And the answer is always, no, it's not that. Stop being a dumbass.
This should be directly below the sacrificial chamber.
Yeah, just in case you didn't notice the glow stick that Matt threw down here a minute ago.
This is the long count. This is the Aztec calendar.
Look, if you're gonna say, like, the long count, then I'm gonna look up like the long count. And Sebastian says this is part of the Aztec calendar. Look, it's actually part of the Mayan calendar, and Mayans aren't one of the 3 cultures who built this pyramid.
2004.
I'm sure this is gonna work. What exactly are the stakes if it doesn't? You only ask the question in this manner if somebody's doing something that could backfire, and if that's what you're worried about, then that's the question you need to ask.
You can report the experts. Well, yeah, that is a good thing. Because this is like finding Moses' DVD collection.
Yeah, but that discovery wasn't all that exciting. It was like 3 copies of Evan Almighty and 1 copy of Hard Bodies 2. But actually, 2 of the Evan Almighty cases just had Hard Bodies 2 discs in them.
What do you want to do with these, Mr. Wayne? We'll run further tests from the surface.
No! No! Where the were you this whole time, dude? Did you just now realize that taking these weapons might be bad? Wouldn't you maybe tell everybody that up front? I know this is supposed to be scary, but it's one Hello My Baby from being sillier than the alien scene in Spaceballs. This movie manages to make Predator Vision look like someone playing GoldenEye on TV with only the red tube functioning. Damn! Aliens don't take any time to burst through a chest anymore, do they? This pyramid is so cool to look at. Imagine this set in a good movie. Predator whips out a bladed noose for some reason when they have plenty of better weapons at their disposal. Do they think that this kill will be stealth enough to kill the rest of the crew like Gary Cooper did and Sergeant York? It's almost like the movie's saving us. What did we do to deserve this?
Yes, the calendar was magic. Based on multiples of 10. I'm guessing that the pyramid reconfigures every 10 minutes.
The Aztec calendar is actually based on 2 cycles. One is a 365-day cycle, which knocks off 5 of the days for whatever reason, leaving it in 20 multiples of 18. The other cycle is for 260 days, which is signified by the number between 1 and 13. So 10 could be one of them, but it's not the only multiple that is possible. Oh, and the Aztecs didn't use the metric system. Awesome. Multiple tunnels with the possibility of aliens around every corner. That suspenseful schematic worked out so well in Alien 3, touching whatever this is. Whenever you introduce secret rooms and a structure that reconfigures every 10 minutes, basically the screenwriter's saying, we want to do a lot of weird shit on a whim, but we don't want anyone to ask questions about it.
What is me? You ugly son of a bitch!
This is the movie that turned the aliens into velociraptors. raptors. Quick, Sebastian, tell them about your multiples of 10 theory. I'm sure they'll be impressed. Colin Salmon has been involved in an insane number of projects, and I only have this and Resident Evil to go on, but I do wonder if he has a section on his resume that reads, can get cut into several pieces by laser or net stupendously. Get this man in a reboot of Cube ASAP. The Predators have the ability to end all of this pretty quickly, but don't, because reasons. And it would be a bad PR move to trade Philip Force move. The absolute slowest Predator kill ever. It leads to Alien Ex Machina, and most of all, it takes nearly an hour for this movie to Alien vs. Predator. All right, Alien, Predator, to the death. I can't wait to see the humans reacting to it. And close-ups of two things that look nearly the same when they wrestle each other. Woohoo! Fight is awesome in my imagination. Also, when you take two creatures that employ hunting, cerebral attacks, stealth strategies, and just have them claw and wrestle each other, the fight that you may have wanted ends up being a punch-and-slash fest that is underwhelming. Oh, you asshole. Since when do you screech and give away your position? While they continue to fight, I will not be a dick and bring up the fact that this pyramid hasn't reconfigured in a long time. It's almost like it only happens when the movie needs it to. So, is this like a money shot for alien porn? Asking for a friend. This Predator doesn't kill Wayland because he's got a medical condition and is going to die anyway scene is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Why is the Predator reviewing the recording of Alexa and Sebastian to ultimately read his lips? If you had time to record someone, why didn't you just jump down and kill them and get the weapon you need? You see, this is where the movie hopes you forget the Predators killed all those drillers, because now they're going to be super thoughtful about killing humans from this point forward, so that we'll be on their side somehow. They run towards the elevated wall and jump on the platform, despite there being an extremely high chance of them getting crushed if they can't make it to the other side. And they know the pyramid reconfigures every time the screenwriter wants it to, so why the risk? Also, there's no way they would have made it to the end of that hallway as fast as that platform was moving. The last-second blade throw is a lie. We saw Sebastian and Alexa run out of a closing passage, which means the Predator had to have been following them close enough to get through it himself, but not close enough to make this attack before they both got through the next passage. Oh yeah, it's hard to remember this movie is called Alien vs. Predator most of the time, because it feels like it should have been called a cliché group of scientists, mercenaries, and a rich guy versus Predator. Dissect an alien.
Look over here.
In the peeping window of convenience.
This is starting to make sense.
It is not.
That's why they didn't carry those guns with them to begin with. They have to earn them.
By entering a combination on a sarcophagus that's based on knowing what day it is?
Hieroglyphs are a little difficult to make out. But this story's all here.
I mean, you're hard to make out, but I'll translate it perfect anyway. I don't know why I brought that up. I just want to be liked.
Every 100 years, the gods would return. And when they did, they would expect a sacrifice.
So what did they do during all those times when no one was there? I guess they got lucky in 1904 because there was an expedition that just happened to be there at the time. But what about 1804 and 1704 and so on? Remember, there's a long period of time where nobody was here. Nobody had satellites. Nobody did expeditions. At what point do you say, that pyramid in Antarctica we built is a lost cause?
Humans were used to breed the ultimate prey.
But why go through all this rigmarole? Why not just hunt the humans? We find out in Predators that they have planets specifically for hunting expeditions, and they kidnap humans to hunt there. Why would this be any different? Under what circumstance would there be this many goddamn aliens here? Is this movie saying there's a scenario where the aliens could reproduce at this rate during the Predator's visit? How bad do you have to f*** up for this to happen? This makes no sense.
But if the hunters lost, they made sure nothing survived.
So they would just have to rebuild the pyramid every time the Predators lost the battle? That doesn't seem very efficient or maintainable. It's also a lot of wasted overhead.
The humanoids, the hunters, they brought those creatures here to hunt.
Surely there are better ways to train your warriors than to go to an out-of-the-way planet every 100 years and set up some sort of most dangerous Olympics. Is it just me, or do the facehuggers' underbellies look even more like vaginas than usual? Facehuggers, now with 63% more vagina. I already assumed Miller was dead when the first alien attacked him. He's brought back for this pointless scene just so I can see him die again. Excitement?
When that door opens, we're dead.
Why are they so certain that the pyramid will reconfigure in a way that gives the Predator a chance to attack them? We've seen this place twist into all sorts of configurations. It's not like it's got an A version and B version. It's like the Maze and Maze Runner.
They're not hunting us. We're in the middle of a war.
Alexa doesn't know that the Predators killed all the drillers on the surface and left them hanging there as trophies, which now that we've gone through the whole hieroglyph position doesn't make sense at all. Instead of killing them, why didn't they capture them for alien sacrifices?
During a big game hunt, the animals being hunted. Don't arm the hunters.
They're not hunting us. We're in the middle of a war. It's time to pick a side.
This is like when Captain Janeway gave the board the info they needed to destroy species 8472, which in turn destroyed a lot of innocent civilizations that were literally surviving because of the former conflict. And that crazy guy from Twin Peaks showed up as an alien seeking revenge to try to kill Janeway in 7 of 9, but they were able to talk him out of it because reasons, or maybe they killed him too. I honestly don't recall. But I bring all this up to say Captain Janeway might have been the real villain of Star Trek Voyager.
How do you say scared shitless in Italian?
Non vedo l'ora di uscire con te da questa piramide perché mi sto cagando addosso.
Rosetta Stone, After Dark. I think the bus jumping in Speed was more realistic than this. No, no, no. Oh no, not the watch. Why is this f***er waiting to kill her? Does the Predator know that she wants to give them their gun back somehow? Are they aware of the plot armor around her? Earlier today, the Predators killed humans indiscriminately. After seeing the Predator remorselessly kill humans in every movie they've been featured in, it is super odd to see them not kill humans for whatever reason in this one. What was the deal with them slaughtering those drillers before they came down here if they were focused on only killing aliens? This whole will Alexa shoot Sebastian Shaw is stupid. We know the Predator certainly will if she doesn't. They aren't friends. They just met hours ago.
It's a bomb. Well, I hope it kills every one of them.
I know we're supposed to be on the Predator side in this movie, and we certainly don't want aliens to be roaming around on the Earth, but for f***'s sake, who's ultimately responsible for all this? The Predators and their stupid goddamn initiation ritual, that's who.
You are one ugly mother.
Just kill them already! Also, you gotta love this, we need to keep a PG-13 rating philosophy for a franchise of movies that have all been rated R. What the f*** are they standing around for? No one will be seated during the Alien vs. Predator turns into a Bond movie portion of the film. Now they're out running the Fireball on foot. I'm just wondering, can the Fireball be more consistent with its speed? It nearly caught up with them when they were on the sled going at breakneck speed. Now it's barely keeping up with them on foot. Now they're out of the Fireball's range, and the sonic boom, or whatever the force crashes into them. And I'm sorry, they'd be dead. All the debris from that impact would have ripped them into pieces. Might be a sign you're standing on a vulnerable place and should keep moving. Or not, just keep standing there dramatically. You've earned it. I would remove a million sins, plus stop making videos for the channel if the Predator and Alexa started making out. Oh, for f***'s sake. What? No matter where the Queen was during all that nonsense we just witnessed, she's f***ing dead. There is no f***ing way she's made it this far. Once again, a character waits way too long to kill their target, allowing someone to save the day. Lex now has essentially no protection from the freezing temperatures, but will somehow survive both this and the alien Queen. I love that giant whale bones were constructed just so these few seconds could happen in the movie. Never change, Paul W.S. Anderson. Never change. Also, how is Lex outrunning the Queen? I feel bad for Alexa. That was the only Predator she ever loved. Oh, so I guess this giant Predator ship landed right next to the action and nobody heard it? That's cool. I think that's cool. Are they going to kiss now? I really want them to kiss. What we don't see is that after Lex gets back, she is arrested for the murders of everyone because, and I know this will be hard to believe, no one believes her story about Predators versus aliens. By the way, if it was so important to be cloaked when the ship landed, why is it not important when they fly away? I just can't imagine how 2 Predator ships have flown here and not one person who watches the skies saw either of them. Well, at least we didn't have to suffer through a chest burster coming out of a Predator. Damn it! Also, the Predators who scanned f***ing everything couldn't see this alien baby inside the dead Predator.